Welcome, everybody. Savage Thursday.
Brad's a slacker.
Huh.
So is Cobbler.
Cobbler and Brad. Last minute, these guys are jumping in. Matter of fact, Brad is jumping in with almost Cobbler. It's pie. He said something about pie. He made me real hungry there at the end. Welcome, everybody. Savage Thursdays. We're doing a little something called Lords of Creation from 1984 from Avalon Hills Game Company, LLC, from Baltimore, Maryland, who's now owned by Hasbro. So this is a conversion. We're doing it in Savage Worlds. I've just borrowed their story, and I thought it was a pretty cool story. And it lets us play lots of different genres or settings, I guess you should say. But anyway, some of the parties just getting going. Some of us are still at work trying to make their way home because, I don't know, bad things have happened around the world today. I'm sure. So, let's do some character introduction. What do you guys say? Get the ball rolling?
I say, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Well then, let's start with, yeah, man, the first guy on the left down here, Lieutenant Commander Scott Huffniner. Who is he played by, and tell us about him.
Hey, everybody, Ron and Jaro. I will be playing Lieutenant Commander Scott Huffniner, retired U.S. Navy SEAL. And he is a very real, down-to-earth guy. And has found himself in the middle of a murder mystery, which is just what he likes to do.
Murder mystery. Speaking of murder mysteries and the investigative type guy, let's take it over to the fish. Who is the fish, or at least what do we know about the fish?
The fish is completely normal, inconspicuous, all-American, regular guy, regular Joe. Joe.
Yo, Joe.
Not a spy. Nine.
You're Gunter.
Gunter, yeah. He's got the fishing boat in the Florida Keys, and what was that? Oh, sorry, I thought that was the Soviets. Yes.
Okay.
He is me, and I am he.
And that
Yes,
is
fish.
that is
The
Brady
communists
season.
are out to get you.
Because of the incident.
And the other guy here who's with us right now is Sid Galewind, who is, well, we'll let Vino tell us who he is.
Well, Sid Galewind is a hotshot pilot, basically. He's a flyboy.
We've yet to roll on that, but okay.
Well, he at least thinks himself a hotshot pilot.
Definitely claims it.
Yes, that is his claim. Absolutely. He mostly does logistics with a bit of smuggling on the side.
Logistics and smuggling, I think they, smuggling is just a different form of logistics.
Right.
Well,
smuggling is logistics without paperwork.
There you go.
That's a good answer.
That is a really good answer.
Did Cobbler make it in here yet?
He just joined the chat, I believe.
Did he just join the chat?
That is you, right, Cobbler?
Yeah.
I see Cobbler.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
There's cobbling.
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you. Tell us, tell us about your dude, man.
My dude?
Yeah, your dude.
Dude looks like a lady.
That's right.
What you say? All right, where am I? Oh, I'm trying to find my camera. Yeah, so Miss Peggy Lambert. So she's a housewife. She was a
housefly.
Recently widowed housewife. And
Sorry, I just got done dealing with some things here. So,
Yeah, we know. You're taking another rip real quick before you. We know.
well, that's besides the point.
And you're
So she was a cheerleader and a gymnast going through school. She married a Navy JAG who later became a DA in Cincinnati. Which helped her out with her kleptomania issues. Unfortunately, her husband liked to eat until his left arm hurt. And
What?
so
Yeah, I really like that phrasing.
Her husband liked to eat until his left arm hurt.
right.
I mean, makes perfect sense to me.
I don't know. But Peggy understands, I guess.
Right. And so, her kids are just old enough to be out of the house. So now she finds herself with a lot of free time.
How old are the kids?
Just graduated college.
Or just went off to college. I mean, I imagine there's at least a few years between them.
Sure. And that's Miss Peggy Lambert in a nutshell. Mrs. Peggy Lambert in a nutshell. Still kept a Mrs.
I don't know where the hell my Donnie Boone is, man. There he is. All right, so I guess I should switch over here.
Lost him at the cemetery.
Yeah, show everybody that Donnie is off at the cemetery, and he's actually on his way home from work. But Donnie Boone here, and we've got to keep part of him covered because Twitch has strict rules against. Yeah, so good wholesome American entertainment, and it can't be shown on Twitch because.
I told you his image needed to be slightly altered.
Yeah, I'll have to put some pasties on him or something.
Some tassels.
Some tassels. Or body paint. Yeah, he could be the inventor of body paint.
Oh, totally. By accident?
Yeah, so there's our friend Donnie Boone. And Donnie
the
is.
do would be use something to cover him up. You know, like he's holding a shotgun or a couple of McDonald's bags.
Or a trout.
Just a big McRib.
I think he ought to be a singer for like Molly Hatchet or something.
Radio Shack employee ID card.
Oh, he is a former Radio Shack employee.
Yep, he is. Found some.
You're supposed to return that ID card.
Is he former? I thought he still did that when he was, not selling you those fake copies of Spooderman #1.
I think he had the job up until he found the signal, and then he became obsessed with the signal and pretty much lost his job. At least that's how I understood it.
So who am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4. There he is. He doesn't want to be seen anyway.
Where'd Cobbler go?
So there's the gang right there, and they have gathered in New Bristol, Massachusetts. Fictitious town. I hope somebody hasn't actually created New Bristol, Massachusetts since 1984 when this, population explosions. You never know. So
now I've got to see.
I'm Googling it. There's a Bristol County.
New Bristol, Massachusetts. Anyway, so they're gathered at this game con called BristolCon. A friend of theirs puts it on at this historic hotel that he owns, and they are engaged in a game of miniatures in a battle game. The last day of the con, it's late on a Sunday evening, and they hear a gunshot, and so they rush up to the penthouse, and there has been a murder. And there were some things that these guys got. I'll close these character sheets down now. You had a few things that you obtained, including, let's see, here's the scene of the crime, if you remember that, and the New Bristol Times.
And by the way, there is no city called New Bristol in Massachusetts, but there is a Bristol County.
Oh, but I put a note in. Look at Discord. Did you see that part? There
No.
was a Bristol.
There was. Well,
Colonial times.
somebody else came up with
It's
this.
apparently
So.
now in Rhode Island, though, because of
Really?
colonial boundary disputes.
Huh.
Interesting. So it was originally Bristol, Massachusetts, that later became Rhode Island.
That's what it looks like. Yes.
Rhode Island was, what was that? It's a big chicken farm, right? Rhode Island Reds. They came from there, and
I know.
nah, yeah. Anyway, so these are the things that you guys did in Gorgio.
Good one in Gorgio.
Oh man, I was just about to get into this shit, man.
That's the best time to do it.
Yeah.
Best time is
Or after we ask you a question.
Gorgio, for that scare, you get the mustache.
That one actually got my heart beating a little bit. Boom, 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 boom.
look at the stash.
Wasn't one of your better reactions, but it was a good one.
Well, I had just sat back is the problem, and I just got into that comfort zone. I was kicking back in my chair, and getting ready to go through. So, Engorgio, welcome. You crazy guy. You wild crazy guy, you. Yes, mustache. Mustache.
Sitter just rips it off Gunter.
Oh, Gunter's mustache. So, Bobby, or
fake.
Donnie Boone went to the cemetery. He's out of the picture for a little while. And he also went to what? The library?
Yes, but
Yeah.
we
I
know
believe he was asked to leave because of the barbecue sauce in the book.
Yeah, the barbecue sauce incident. The McRib incident, that's it. That's what it will be named.
McRib Gate.
Yeah, getting the stains on the books and stuff. You're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to leave. Not the most charismatic guy. So let's see. What were you guys wanting to do?
Fun.
Yeah, he did. It was bad.
Well,
I believe we were going to go somewhere and do something. Well, we were going to go to the office because you 9 a.m.
Yeah.
was mentioned.
Manchester's office. You had a meeting with what was it, Donald?
I have that note here somewhere. Yeah, where I just saw it. Where'd it go? Yes, need to find this Donald who called for a meeting with John.
Donald, let's see here. Where is my? Okay, I don't need that. We'll get rid
Yeah,
of
there was an
that.
emergency meeting with Donald at 9 o'clock sharp.
Yeah, I'm sure we could also speak with John's secretary or something too.
The other people there. Because if we recall, his brother mysteriously got run over.
So you're going to the Manchester building? Yeah.
Is that anything like the Manchester estate?
I don't accidentally go to the city of Manchester because that would take a long time.
That's New Hampshire, right?
I think
Well,
there's several Manchester cities.
but the Manchesters, the one brother he was in the news. He got killed in a hit and run. The next day, this one killed himself.
A week ago. Oh, I thought it was about a week ago when he was killed.
Maybe it was a week
Or
ago.
when he was hitting.
Maybe it was.
No, it was the day before John was killed. Talking about Ralph?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
don't forget the scientific breakthrough.
It was announced on the day before that.
It doesn't say when it was, just that he died yesterday. He could have been in the hospital for 3 weeks unconscious.
That's true.
Yeah, so here's the scientific breakthrough, Delio. Biggest boost to the electronics industry in more than a decade, because it's a different.
He was pronounced. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that he was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. So he didn't survive the
I didn't see that
accident long.
Oh, I did that on purpose to see if you were paying attention.
No, I've got the paper right here, and I'll show it to Fish.
Let's see. Hit and run death. Yes. Mr. Ralph Manchester died late yesterday as a result of a hit and run accident. So late Saturday he was hit and run. Blah blah blah. Several things going on here about this little old town in Massachusetts. This burb, I guess you'd call it. Barbecue sauce is made with snout paste.
Ew. But it would stand to reason that with the two Manchesters, the president and vice president of the company out of the picture, whoever's next in line would stand to really make bank.
And do we know who that is?
Perhaps it's Donald.
Well, we know about John's will, at least where his money would end up going.
Well, there was a codicil, but it wasn't signed. So
Right.
It's true. Although originally it was split between Ralph and he's out of the picture, I guess. And Lydia. So right now his Lydia's.
Normally that would go to his wife after that, or all of it would go to his wife. But I don't think the company was included in that, was it?
Does his wife?
I was just thinking the profits that he would make on whatever the new invention was, from stock and stuff.
And the safe was unlocked, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was closed but not locked.
And there were still jewels in it.
And was there jewelry and all that stuff? Was that all still there?
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, there was jewelry, and also we did find that there was his checkbook showing that until recently he had been paying money to these Phillipses, the Kelly brothers.
Right. That's one of our other stops. But first is his office. So we can
to the Manchester building then.
Donald.
What was Philip?
What was that, Rondon?
I thought you said something about Philip.
Oh, he also written a check to.
Oh yeah.
But I can't find that window anymore.
Yeah. Sam, 1,200 to Sam Phillips on October 8th. And then checks for 10 grand paid first of every month to Kelly Brothers Construction every month except October and November.
I think those should definitely all be checked out because money is usually what leads to this crap.
Especially after the scandals that rocked City Hall with the rivalry.
I think this scandal goes deeper than that they think it does.
But I don't do politics. I just point and click.
You just point and click? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I just point and click.
Uh-oh. Must be a cobbler emergency.
The cobbler signal was lit.
Yeah, the cobbler signal. And off he must go.
Now the question is, what would a simple image of a cobbler look like?
Just a slice of pie in the sky.
Man, look how quick he is. He's went and handled that catastrophe and he's already back.
He's got very good bladder control. What can I say?
Brad said the cobbler signal went off.
Well, the way that you just put your headset down and got up and moved off camera so quickly, it did seem like some sort of emergency.
Well, it's because it's the third time since the game started. It's only been like 10 minutes ago, pretty much.
Oh, all right. So you guys go down to the Manchester building. So how are you getting down there? I mean, how are you running around town? Are you walking every place?
Didn't he give us a car?
Wasn't somebody's truck we were driving in?
Donnie's the one that had the van.
He had the van, and then didn't
I
Huff
thought Tom offered us a car to use.
Wait, didn't Huff have his pickup with the gun rack in the
Yeah,
back?
I got Ginny.
I do vaguely remember Tom allowing us to use his vehicle or giving us a limo or something or another.
We didn't steal it. No, definitely
Party
have
bus.
to alibi.
So
If it wasn't a party bus, we're gonna invent a party bus.
trying to find where there was a like a key to the city thing.
You did not share it with us. You were reading it to us.
City? Nope. Let's see, what could it have been? Key to the map of New Bristol. Beautiful. I love fancy grounds like that. Let's see, the Matthews Building is... Or Manchester Building. I'm sorry, the Manchester Building. And
That's me. I'm not here.
Yeah, what is it? The phone?
Where'd everyone go? He's looking over his screen. Ryan's off camera and the other 2 rooms are empty. It's the aliens. Right, Donnie?
I'm watching our training shows. I'm actually in the middle of TJ. I'm actually in the middle of training the game.
Yeah, sorry about that.
He's getting on to somebody. I'm actually in the middle of streaming something. He's getting on. Sound like his mom. He's getting on to his mom. You should never get on to your mom, dude. You need to take the time to talk to your mom.
He might be fussing at a cat.
Oh no, because the
I don't
cat
know,
was
I feel
talking
like
back to him.
I mean, it could be a really talented cat. Are they having another, like, 40-person party in the other room?
So let's see. Yeah, Manchester
I'm aware of.
Building. Okay,
Exotic spaghetti.
there we are. Here's the Manchester Building. This great big round, one of the newer buildings in town, of course, you know.
Hopefully that one company didn't build it.
Seriously.
That's
What
just
are
right around
9,
the corner.
18, and 37 on the same block?
So, and
Where are
then here's the new Bristol
number?
Arms.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we could just walk that easy. That's like a block away.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys walking? Very good. I don't need anybody to give me a walking roll then. So you make your way up to the Manchester Building. And you get inside, and in the Manchester Building, you kind of go through some security. How do you there's a large foyer and a desk and kind of high tech, it looks almost like 1990s in here, man.
Sid will walk to the front of the group and reach around, pull out his wallet, and just go flip, and just kind of flip his pilot's license or whatever, and flip it back real quickly, and says, private investigator, we need to get into Mr. Manchester's office.
So there's a girl at the desk that you flip this thing in front of, and she's got these, her hair is braided into 2 ponytails, kind of coming out almost like horns, and she's got really, rosy cheeks and some green eyeliner on and stuff, and she's chewing gum. I'm sorry, you said what? You need to see, you need to, what, Mr. Manchester, what now? And she takes her little earphones off from her Walkman.
Need to get into Mr. Manchester's office.
Oh, you would have to talk to Miss Clock.
Is that his secretary?
Miss Clock, yeah.
Apparently she said New Jersey.
No.
Where would we speak with her?
No, Miss Clock. Miss Clock. It's Boston, man. Miss Clock.
I don't know. It sounds more Jersey to
okay.
me.
Well, there you go. It's Boston, New Jersey.
Well, we're in the weird part of Massachusetts. It sounds a lot like New Jersey.
Yeah.
Just like there's that one part out west where all the military people have British accents.
Okay. So she picks up the phone and you hear the phone kind of ring upstairs or ring for a second and there's a voice on the other end, and I don't know, Miss Clock. I can just send them right on up. It's almost my time for coffee. Coffee. Nah, I am really starting to sound like New Jersey. Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. Uh,
Coffee.
I'm trying to. Well, whatever. How about we skip the accents? So you leave the teenage girl working her part-time job. She puts her headphones back on, sits down, starts looking through 17 magazine, and you guys go off to the elevator and you go up. She tells you it's up at the top, and you go up to the top floor, and you get off, and there's a small sitting area, and you guys walk up and kind of sit down. Pretty soon you hear a door click, the lock on the door click, and this woman steps through, and she goes, "Hello, gentlemen. How can I help you?"
Well, we were hoping to speak with Mr. Manchester's secretary and perhaps this Donald.
I'm sorry, Mr. Matthews isn't here right now. Can you understand this difficult time? You're with the police department, I'm sorry?
Not exactly. We're more private investigators that was hired by a mutual friend of John's.
So,
Yeah, they should have sent you the memo.
you think it wasn't a suicide, don't you?
We're not saying that. We're just investigating other options.
We need to make sure for the insurance.
We're not sure if it was suicide or not, to be perfectly honest, but there's just certain things that just don't match up.
Well, I am going to have to... Someone's going to have to authorize this legally. I can't just let anybody into the office, But tell me, you think somebody killed him, don't you? Mr. Manchester would never kill himself.
Well, personally, I think it was witches.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, or organized crime.
What,
Have you seen any
that?
suspicious organized crime? Or witches? Which are not real. No witches! They're not real.
Huh.
What makes you think that? What makes you so sure that Mr. Manchester didn't commit suicide?
I just know him. I've worked for him all these years. And you see, she said, Doris Clark is her name. She introduces herself. She says, "Well, Mr. Matthews isn't here. Come in, please, come in." And she takes you back, and it's the private offices of executive management up here. And she tells you, she says, it was common knowledge around the office that John Manchester and Donald Matthews, somebody's mic's open, that John Manchester and Donald Matthews didn't get along. She also heard a rumor that Donald has recently lost heavily in stock speculation.
And who is Donald exactly?
Yeah, that too.
He's Mr. Manchester's partner.
So he stands to gain a lot with Mr. Manchester's death.
It seems like he would be gaining a lot regardless. If they are to make the money, unless Mr. Manchester didn't say anything about getting rid of this Mr. Matthews out of the business, did he?
Oh, well, they would never discuss anything like that with me around. I'm sorry, but
But they could have had a big argument.
Do you know of an emergency meeting that Donald wanted to have with Mr. Manchester?
not that I want to say. She says no, but there's been a couple of strange things happen recently.
Oh, strange how? Okay, stop
Well,
moving the mouse.
Gentlemen, I assure you that you could almost call me finicky.
No, not you.
I've been known as methodical. And she's 50 something years old. She's probably worked in an office since she was 18, got out of high school, and she insists that someone has broken into her desk and used John Manchester's signature stamp.
Oh. You have a signature stamp on your desk for Mr. Manchester.
Could I see the desk where they broke in very quickly?
It's my desk.
Yeah, can I look at that real quick?
Yes, absolutely. Let's look at that.
You can. Who's
And
checking the
then-
desk out?
I would like to. And can I use like a thievery roll to see if I can analyze if it was like?
Do you have thievery skills? Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's what you need in this particular case. And that's a
Yay.
success. And you can tell the desk has in fact been jimmied open recently.
Oh yeah, it looks. Look at the lock. You got the scraping and the. It's
yeah.
in here, yeah.
And she
Mr.
tells you,
Clark.
hang on
Sorry,
just a
go
second,
ahead.
Ben. Let me read this, and I'll let you ask your questions. So the stamp is used to duplicate John's signature on letters that he's too busy to sign. Doris always cleans the stamp after every use. On Monday morning, she found dried ink on the stamp. And I am too meticulous and methodical to have ever left my stamp dirty. I assure you, gentlemen, my stamp was clean.
Yeah, you look like a clean stamp kind of woman.
Do we have the note? Do we have the note with us?
Which note?
The suicide note.
I don't know if we would have that or if that would be in police custody.
Well, wasn't Donnie taking pictures of stuff?
It's in police. It's in
That is
police custody. The suicide note, but I think Donnie did take pictures of all that shit, and also the detective, whatever his name was, said that hey, he'll help out and provide what
Yeah,
information
we should be able
he
to
can.
get access to it.
Well, at least take a look at it,
Yeah, we can't take it.
Right.
How about Bob?
What number was the note?
She says, well, gentlemen, it's obvious that Mr. Manchester will no longer
36.
be signing anything, and I think that turning this over to the police would probably be the best thing that could happen right now. No one could use it at that point.
Well, once we have something more substantial, we'll go to the police.
You think he was killed, don't you?
If we find evidence that he was murdered, we will go to the police.
We're going to go wherever the evidence takes us.
But,
Well,
right now we're just trying to, figure out why certain things were, in his room and the way they were.
Has he ever run out of the Soviet Union?
what?
We're not commies, fish.
What?
Well, no. Nine. He's not, but maybe he was killed because he's not a commie.
That's not usually how that works here, Fish.
So finally, she mentions you might want to talk to Ed Tolliver, the night watchman. He told a curious story that you might be interested in.
Very interesting. Is he around here now during the daytime, or do we have to come back at night?
No, but I'll tell you what he told me.
Yeah, okay,
He
well,
said,
what did he tell
he said
you?
on Saturday evening when he made his usual 9 o'clock check, he heard typing coming from Mr. Manchester's office, and he thought it odd, not only because of the hour, but because he knew that Mr. and Mrs. Manchester were at a political banquet that night. But when he checked, he saw no one in the office. But he said it smelled a really strong perfume.
That's twice with the perfume.
Alright, what was his last name? Ed what?
Tolliver.
Tolliver?
Tollivar.
Okay.
Yep, night watchman.
Yeah, and I bet a big executive man, he doesn't usually do his own typing. He probably has somebody to do that. Looks like he would be very good at that, maybe.
Wasn't the suicide note was typewriter written, wasn't it? Wasn't handwritten?
You guys hear the
No,
door?
It was typed, and it had the signature at the bottom.
You guys hear the door open back to the, small waiting area, to the executive offices, and even Miss Clark here, she's kind of, who could that be? And about that time, you guys see this guy come around the corner, and he's looking through some mail and stuff. And oh, well, Mr. Matthews. He stops. He says, Doris, you should have taken the day off after what's happened last night. Who are these people? And Mr. Matthews, gentlemen, this is Donald Matthews. Who are they, Doris? Well, they are, I think,
I'm going to
detectives.
step forward. I'm going to say Lieutenant Commander Scott Huffniner, United States Navy.
It's United States Navy. Okay. Your interest in?
We're on the coast.
Yeah, I'm afraid, Mr. Matthews, that I can't discuss that with you. However, as you know, Mr. Manchester and your company are involved in several Defense Department programs.
Okay.
I mean, they are.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, this is a really terrible day for me to discuss anything. I'm only here for a minute, and he walks in and he takes some of this mail and he puts it in his desk drawer and closes it and locks it. He says, "Is there anything I can help you with in particular?"
Yeah, that's understandable, but we may get back to you. Just make yourself available, all right?
I don't plan on leaving the town anytime soon.
Do you have the business card?
I do. Doris, would you take care of that and please show the gentleman to the door on your way out as you lock up? It's been a devastating weekend, Doris. Please take the day off. And then he says, gentlemen, talk to me when you need to. Bye-bye. And out the door he goes. You hear the door, the elevator out there. Ding.
Yeah, that's quick.
He seems like
Slippery. Here's your hat. What's your hurry?
Yeah, not very overly emotional.
By the way, Doris. It was Doris, right?
Yes, I think I need to be seeing you, gentlemen, to the door now.
That's okay.
That's fine.
Could we look at the office first?
Quickly, and she takes you over there. You look inside. There's actually there's a typewriter in here. A couple of the other offices. You see these new fancy computers. These Windows 3.1 machines.
I don't think we're up to that yet.
No, we're probably still green screen terminals. Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, that is the DOS.
Yeah, there's a great big mainframe that takes up three rooms,
That's the floor below
and
us.
it's got a freezer in it to keep the son of a bitch cold.
But I was going to ask Doris if she knows of a woman named Linda Ann Thompson.
Linda Ann Thompson. I'm sorry, I don't know that name. No.
Interesting.
I'm gonna look at Sid and say, that's the codicil, right?
Yeah, that's the one on the
Okay.
Wow, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, seems like pretty solid to you, Gunther.
Well, if it was hollow, I think I'd have some new theories on the building collapsed because of the Kelly brothers or whatever. Yeah, I'm just going to look at the desk quick. Yeah.
Okay. You look at his desk. It's got a typewriter on it. Instead of
look in the drawer, see if there's like.
I'm gonna check the desk with him actually.
Yeah, Peggy. Yeah, Peggy, come over here. Have you ever look, see if there's any hidden drawers? I bet you know good places to hide small containers that are cylindrical and might hold medicine.
Sure, and I've got kids, so I know how to search for hidden stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who's got an investigation skill that they're wanting to? Tell me how you're using your investigation skill. Whatever skill you choose to use in an investigation. It's going to be kind of hard to push shooting at me, but
we can try.
Can I use
Pew,
thievery
pew.
to look at where hidden valuables might be?
Can you use what?
Thievery.
Well, absolutely. Kind of look around for some hidden stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the kind of thing that like a spy would be keeping hitting. So I'd look in those kind of places most likely.
Okay. And
have a
Peggy
question.
can do the same thing if she's got thievery.
If she has thievery. Oh, come on.
I do have a question. Are there any sort of electronics on the desk, like maybe a multi-line phone?
No, there's a phone that's got like, the old push button phones. There's a dial by directory, and there's like 3 different lines that you could push a button and pick up a line, and then
Yeah.
dial the number. It's a push button phone.
Oh,
Yeah,
not the rotaries. That is fancy.
Yeah, but that's the
Wow.
only. And there's a little
But it's
adding
multi-line
machine.
but the phone, it's like a multi-line.
Yeah.
Runs off more than just the phone line power. That's what I was wondering.
Probably not. It's probably just plugged into those phones. You just plugged them into a telephone socket, and the PBX did all the work.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, can I use my electronic skills to check it for bugs and any of the other electronics on the desk?
You can check the electronic typewriter. You can check the electronic adding machine. That's really it's probably a Texas Instruments, what T whatever, TI-99 calculator. Yeah, you can check all that. So first of all, Lieutenant Scott Huffman, your notice roll. It seems strange to you that this guy's an executive, but the room just looks overly clean, overly sparse. There's not much here really. There's a few notes to call and do this and make sure that Doris gets his suits from the cleaner and blah blah blah, different things like that. And then there's a checkbook.
Okay. It's a company checkbook.
Company checkbook, yeah, and the stubs are just for various. It looks like probably a petty cash account, if I guess you'd say. Need some coffee around the office, something like that. But other than that, it doesn't really look like the office is used much or has recently been cleaned. It just feels off to you.
Cleaned out.
No, I mean it could be, but it just doesn't have that. With the Rays, it doesn't have that lived-in feel. You know what I mean? Like
He ain't been dead that long.
like maybe he ain't spent much time here or something. Peggy and Gunther both are searching around the desk, and you find no hidden compartments anyplace. There's no hidden compartments in the room, like wall safe, anything like that. Seems pretty bland.
No mysterious red buttons.
Right, and then the electronics. You're like, yeah, looks like electronics, man.
I
That's
kind of
plugged
want to re-roll that.
He used Benny to re-roll it, and you're like, you look at this typewriter, and there's something about, you're like, hang on. You stick a piece of paper into it, and Doris is like, gentlemen, please, I don't know how much longer I'll have my job, but I assure you, I need it as long as I can keep it. So and you're like, hang on a second, and you put a piece of paper in there, and you turn it on, and you hear it warming up, typewriter, and you start typing, and you're like, okay, and you take the paper with you.
Just kind of type a little bit, maybe one of each letter, and take it with me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, is that quick brown foxes jumping over lots of things?
Yeah.
Check it against the suicide note to see if it looks like the same.
Because even though the typewriter might be the exact same model, they may not print the exact same way.
There could be something
Right.
like skew or something.
If I remember right, Jessica Fletcher actually proved somebody murdered somebody because of a typewriter thing.
I'm not sure if
One of
that
the
one is in
keys
character
was
out
like-
here.
What would Jessica do?
It's both. I have a lot of free weeknights.
Evidently.
I don't think it's safe that you have the TV in the plane.
Yeah.
Now, I do most of my flying during the day. I don't go too terribly far most of the time. If I do, it's an overnight thing.
Yeah, to those countries that do not have extradition treaties for some reason.
All right, so I'm gonna roll the time forward. I'm gonna say that you guys go down there. What time did you leave? Did you get any sleep at all? What time is it? You tell me. It's Monday
We wanted to be here at 9 a.m., so.
at 9
Because
a.m.
that's what
All
time
right.
the meeting was.
Well, it wouldn't have taken
Right.
you more than an hour, so it's 10 a.m. She kind of escorts you and almost lackluster a little bit, but she did tell you about this Ed Tolliver and said that he heard someone typing, but then there was nobody there. Okay.
He smells that perfume.
Yes, and I'm assuming we follow up with Ed and corroborate that and get any details while we're here, if he's available.
He's not here. He's the night watchman.
He's the night watchman. You'd probably have to come back at night, create a scene, but if you needed to come back, I guess you could, but you got plenty of other things to look into.
Yes.
Yeah, what else to do? What do you remember? What else we would need to do, Peggy?
In here?
I mean, in the town. Well, if we cannot find Zidani, he's probably in a bunker.
I think he said he was going to the library and possibly the cemetery, so,
Right.
I think he can, take care of himself.
Yeah, you guys have no idea that he completely bombed any research at the library you could have done.
Yeah, he probably did excellent research.
I mean, as long as he just didn't take, that bag full of McRibs I know he keeps in the back of his van inside.
Did we
As long as
ask
he
about
didn't do
Linda
that.
Ann Thompson?
He keeps a whole bag of McRibs in there.
Yes. Or at least I imagine he
He
does.
buys them by the dozen.
He buys them by
pretty
the
cool.
truckload.
Gets them in bulk at the cash and carry.
Let's see. What?
I mean, ever since Sam's Club teamed up with Walmart, I mean, not Walmart, McDonald's.
Oh, jeez.
Did we ask about Linda Ann Thompson?
Yes.
You did,
Didn't
yeah.
know who that was.
Okay, yeah.
She said she didn't know who that was.
We need. Well,
I
we
mean,
definitely
I don't know
need
if we
to speak
believe her.
with this Trixie Star.
Yeah, what's the name of it? Is that Trixie Star? Is that the actress?
That's the actress. Possibly a stage name.
Likely a stage name.
Likely a stage name, yes.
So where do you guys want to go?
We also wanted to speak to or go check out the Kelly brothers, didn't we?
And the Club Apollo with the Voodoo Magic Act.
The witches thing is certainly a possibility.
So are you
However,
that
I
is
don't
splitting the
evening,
party, or are
Nine.
you going
That's
to
at 8 p.m.
9? Except for Donnie.
We're not.
We're just deciding where to go next.
Yeah, I was just giving some other options and whatnot. I'm okay with the whatever.
Hey, Froyo sounds nice.
Ooh.
Was TCBY a thing? in the 80s?
Mid 80s?
I'm not sure.
What's that?
Like
they had-
TCY, the country's best yogurt?
Yeah, I think it was around.
Yeah, it was. This can't be yogurt, is what it was called.
Yeah.
Well, I just remember it in the early 90s. I just wasn't quite sure before that.
Also, we could ask to see for the police report about Mr. Ralph Manchester. See if they know anything else
Good
about
idea.
the hit and run.
That's a good idea.
You go to
Fish.
so you want to go to the Apollo, you want to go to the police station, and so where are you going first?
I think the Apollo makes more sense because the police are already working on this with the information they have. Makes more sense to us to try and get
Police
independent
working on
They're
what?
all working on it.
Police
They're-
working
the
on?
police aren't working on this because
I thought they were not publicly working on it.
They're
What
not
was
working
the-
on it at all. The
we
mayor
talked to the
told
one
them leave it
guy
alone.
about it.
Time of day,
All
though.
right, let's go to the
Is
cops
there a
then.
fax
See what they
machine
got.
in the Bristol Arms? We should call them up and say, could you please fax the police report?
That's actually a really good idea.
What's his name? Bob Davidson.
Yeah. Bob, will you please fax us the police report about the hit and run?
We're not that high tech here in New Bristol yet. He tells you, why don't you come? And this is on the landline telephone because again nobody has nobody has cell phones, so
Nobody has this newfangled fax machine.
yeah.
Didn't they invent fax machines
1986.
a long time ago? Like surprisingly long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently they're not very high tech.
Yeah, but they're not very high tech here.
Manchester Police definitely has some.
All right, so
Well,
you
I
guys are back
imagine
out on
more
the street.
businesses did. All right, so let's swing by the police station, pick up that report.
What else is in the block here, I wonder?
And Brad, you're still writing down the numbers for these, so we have a legend, right?
Okay, sure. I've been doing that. Hold on, unrelated.
You doing what now? Where are we going
I was
first?
asking the police station to pick up that.
Police station. Okay. Let's see. Police station. We
Mhm.
need a ceiling fan, some swinging doors.
35.
Let's see. Oh yeah, we need this and this. No, there's no horses. There's no horses peeing in this police station.
They don't have one of
Somebody
those.
get that horse under control right now.
They don't have any of those horse riding cops.
All right. So you guys go down to the police station, and you do find
What
detective.
number is the police station?
Yeah, where's that on the
The
map,
police station. Let's see. Where is the police station? Number 34. Right here.
So just a block away. So
What
I
are
guess we'll go-
32 and 33 and 37 while we're there?
While you're there, you walk past number 37. What is okay, I got too much open now. Let's close that. That is the Loring office building.
And what about number 33 next to the police station?
And number 33 next to the police station is the New Bristol Courthouse.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, so you go up to the police station and the detective, Dick Tracy, what's his name? Let's see here.
Matlock.
Bob
Chief of
Davidson.
Police was Bob
That looks in
Davidson.
the courthouse.
Yep, Bob Davidson welcomes you. A lot of the officers are kind of looking at you funny, like, what are these guys doing here? And Bob Davidson's like, come on, come on, come on. He calls you back to his office and closes the door. And you can see this office is very well lived in.
Is he
Literally.
putting a newspaper out there? Got a lot of guys with typewriters. I mean,
There's
They're
enough
filling out police reports.
bureaucracy.
god damn.
Yeah, I guess we'll turn the typing pool off. We'll just keep the office going. Putting out the newspapers. Yeah, that's all the tickets they're writing you guys for jaywalking.
No, all the reports they're having to write for all the mystery
Yeah.
shit going on.
For all the destruction of historical books in the library.
Changing accent.
living.
Yeah, we probably glance over. It's like trying to file this thick.
Someone smeared a
on Donnie.
strange brown pigment over the books at the library.
Smelled vaguely of
Brownish red.
It's sticky.
Yeah. So okay.
Could we see a report about the Roland?
The police station. So what do you guys want to know? You want to know about what? The death of John Manchester? Or what?
And
specific?
about Ralph.
Report on Ralph.
See if there's anything in the report about what kind of vehicle or if anything else was seen. Anything
Okay.
like that.
Yeah. We can do that. So let me minimize this. That's the.
Just think if this was a book and you had to keep flipping the pages.
Oh, I wish it was a book and I could flip the pages because I'd know where to go.
That's true. Also, yeah, we get barbecue sauce.
You know, I just thought of something.
What?
We should have been asking all of these people we've been talking to if they've seen the Mousetrap show or whatever with Trixie Star.
But yeah, let's ask this man. He looks like he would go to the show.
Ooh, more importantly, we should have been asking people if they were seeing a guy disappearing into the shadows. That's
You know what? That's a good point. That's
gonna draw attention to us, though.
Everybody give me a notice roll.
Well, I think we should at least ask Tom about it next time we're at the hotel.
I'm really trying to hide my face, I think.
a notice roll.
Yeah, as he says this, Sid, you're kind of laughing at him, and you look over his shoulder back towards the door into the captain's office, and you see this guy, and you know it looks like maybe he's wearing a suit, but once again he's just kind of right there. He's kind of looking into the office where all these other officers are out there typing away and putting out newspapers and shit, typing up tickets, and then he just kind of steps back and disappears again. You're like, did I just see that? Did I just see that?
Disappears.
I just,
Nosferatu,
you know, it's like
motherfucker.
he's looking around. He's looking, and it's very shadowy. You can barely make out some facial features, maybe. You know, some parts of his face are darker in shadow than others. That's about it.
Well, I mean, it's either a Man in Black or Doctor Who.
Thinking like the cigarette smoking man on X-Files.
Yeah. Do we smell cigarette smoke?
Let's see. You ask him about the hit and run. You don't smell. Yeah, you do smell cigarette smoke in here, as a matter of fact. You know, these cops are smoking. I mean,
it's 1980s.
Yeah, it's the 80s, man. They're
It's
all
the
still
80s.
smoking. You couldn't
Right?
go. Well, at least I think they had quit smoking in the elevators and on airplanes by this time. And that's about it.
And stairwells, I believe.
I thought that's where they did a lot of the smoking.
Well,
That's
I mean,
what
that
TV is
what
not,
a lot
man.
of teenage. That's what a lot of teenagers do.
Okay, the hit and run. Yeah. So, Bob Davidson, police chief, he tells you, he said several witnesses saw the car that killed Ralph Manchester. But it happens quickly that they're not sure. They think it was a powder blue late model Chevy is the best we can guess out of there, you know.
Powder blue.
Yeah. Said a young woman was driving. One witness partially identified the plates, a Massachusetts plate, but said they think they remember the number 17.
Did you ever follow up on that?
Number
How
17,
many thousands is that?
late model blue
Yeah.
shit. Yeah. That's just way
I
too
mean,
much to.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably not a computer database at this
Yeah.
point. That would make it a bit more difficult to look things up.
Control F. Nope.
Well, I mean,
But there are a
they
lot
don't
of
even have
powder
a fax
blue cars.
machine, so
Yeah.
That's
it's
true.
unlikely that they have a computer database of any kind.
Right.
They actually probably retype their entire list of everything every day. That's why they're typing so much. They shred it at the end of the day.
So that's what he can tell you about the hit and run accident. I can probably make this easier for you by doing this.
Have you heard?
What did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do they have any forensics on Manchester, on the other Manchester, John?
How many car repair shops are there in town? Or paint shops?
There's a handful. You know, there's probably a dozen places around here you could get, auto work done. Your question about no, the forensics haven't come back yet. They had to send them off to a lab.
Okay.
It'll take a couple days on that. But the coroner thinks it was probably hydrogen cyanide because of the tinge of the blue tinge to his skin. That he was still warm, tinged blue. You guys heard the gunshot at about 8:30. So
he'd recently died, like maybe 30 minutes, hour tops.
no, you guys heard the gunshot like closer to 9.
I thought it was closer to 9.
Yeah, but the coroner's putting the death. By the time they got there, the medical examiner figures it was 8:30 p.m. by the cooling of the body, and he suspects that they'll get,
We don't know the gunshot happened while he was alive either. We're not sure what's going on with the gunshot.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, I believe the gunshot happened after he was dead.
So they did,
Yeah.
after dusting the room for fingerprints, the only prints in the room are those of the dead man and the servants. They've checked them against the servants, so their servants' fingerprints were in there too. The only prints on the newspaper and the bottle of scotch and the soda siphon, glass tumbler, and suicide note were John Manchester's. Strangely, it's only his left-hand prints were on the note.
Do you know if he was right-handed? Would we be able to ascertain he was right-handed?
Again, gentlemen, our part of the unfortunately, my investigation is shut down. I can't go so far as to even ask if he was left-handed. That's all on you.
Well, I was asking you if, like, in his office, if we were to sit at his desk, would his phone be on his left or his right?
Well, his drink was to his right.
Yeah.
The phone was on his left.
So he could have been left-handed, but that's not necessarily a determining factor. Some people are weird.
Oh, where was his pen cup?
Yeah, because
On the right.
He may answer the phone with his left so he can keep writing with his right.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
Yeah.
There was no pen cup. There was like one ink pen in the drawer, a notepad, a checkbook, and a calculator, and that's it. It's like very little done at his office.
So there wasn't any sort of pen holder on the desk.
There was some typing paper, there was, but it was, what had been used and wasn't there. Let's see. Strangely, some of the surfaces in the room had been wiped clean. The scotch bottle, soda siphon, let's see, you guys wouldn't know that yet.
That could have been conspicuous. We should ask if he was did a lot of the cleaning and the wiping. Could have been one of them who's always cleaning things.
Oh, they did have
They were
servants.
probably cleaning things to get their prints off of it.
It could have been that too, yeah.
Yeah. But it was clean before the servants even came in. Somebody tried to hide the fact that there were 2 people in the room.
Yeah, because we're pretty sure that there was a second person in the room. We just
Right.
don't know if that person was the same person that shot through the glass and missed. And
I don't think so. Because I think that person was sitting out there waiting for a while. They smoked like 5 cigarettes.
I don't recall if we ever tried to match up those cigarettes with the ones we found in the trash can.
ones in the trash can were gold tipped and had
And
violet
had
lipstick on it.
lipstick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he says,
Which
as
those may
far
be
as
special. We may take a tobacconist or something like that.
They still could have been working together, trying to get some sort of pictures or something.
the safe being open, he said we did get a phone call earlier, and Mrs. Manchester is screaming that the jewels are fake.
Huh?
She's screaming and angry, and she's claiming that the jewels are fake. We said there were no jewels taken, but she's saying the ones in her safe are fake.
Hey Peggy,
Okay.
you don't happen to have the real jewels, do you?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Always best to check.
I mean, we're aware of your proclivities.
Is that the new necklace?
You don't take things when you first visit there. You make note of them when you hit it later.
Okay, next time we would
you
keep
can't
an eye
blame
out.
me for asking. I know you like to have sticky fingers at times, and sometimes you
Yeah.
can't help it.
Learn the game.
But if you really are a klepto, it doesn't matter. If you see something and you just
Well,
I
yeah,
want it,
sure.
grab.
It's not about taking things or what it is. It's about taking it. Yeah.
I mean, it could be a $50 ink pen. You're just like, oh, that's shiny.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Let's do away with some of that, and what do we
Okay,
need?
so where do we need to go now? What time is it? Is it about 11? Is it around noon? What time is it?
Do either of the Manchester men have any sort of criminal history? Mr. Bob.
The Manchester brothers?
Yeah.
No, they're all, holy shit, that's got to be turned down.
I thought it was just a really dramatic speech he was starting.
I know. I'm just looking for something to fill up some dead air in the background. Who are you talking to? The police chief still?
Yeah.
He says that the Manchester family were some of the first to settle in this area, and no, they've been an upstanding family for
As far as
back as I know. But
do you know if the Manchesters, either personally or business-wise, had any dealings with the Kelly brothers?
well, there were the checks.
Yeah, I was meaning aside from those, like if they had actual business dealings or any personal business dealings.
Unless it had to do with construction or something, I doubt it. But John Manchester really didn't dabble in real estate, so I find it unusual that he would have any kind of connections to folk of that ilk.
What do you mean by folk of that ilk?
Well, I guess you all are not from our quaint little town, but
No, I'm from Iowa.
yeah.
Originally, anyway.
Well, the Kelly brothers is just a front for the Tommy Jarrett gang.
Ooh.
Oh, I read about them in the newspaper.
Something to do with some graft down at City Hall, too, yeah?
Yep, corruption. 5 councilmen indicted.
No, listen, he says Tommy Jarrett, Johnny Kelly, Carlo Marchese, Stan Rosinski. They got criminal records in Chicago and New York, but the New Bristol police, however, have no records on the men.
Yeah, Betsy feds are looking into that also.
Which, yeah, they've
Here in MA, huh?
done nothing here in Massachusetts that he knows of. He said, I can't talk about their activities due to orders from higher up. You got to understand. But you bring me hard evidence, I'll arrest any gang member. Orders, no orders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
though, out of character,
Oh,
like if they
That'll
are
help.
You like being able to walk
gang
there,
in
Bob?
multiple cities and states, that probably is a federal situation at this point. The feds are here. But still Donnie.
Yeah, let's still Donnie.
Loves when the feds are involved. Oh yeah, one last thing.
There you go. That's the 3 things you've talked to him about.
Have you ever seen this Mousetrap play?
So I haven't. It's been playing for a while, and evidently it's a big hit, but I don't have time for that. I mean, there's so much stuff drifting out of the city now into our neighborhoods. Crime. Need to take a bite out of it. I even come up with this concept for kids called McGruff.
Oh.
I don't think it'll take off.
He shows you his little, kind of doodle pad of McGruff, the crime dog.
For some reason, I feel he would also have a prototype bobblehead of this thing. Of McGruff, I mean.
Oh, take a bite out of crime.
See, the way they should design it is so that the bottom jaw doesn't bobble, so it looks like he's biting a lot.
Or it wobbles independently from the head.
Yes.
All right, anything else you want to ask of the,
Did he answer Fish's question
about what?
about seeing a mousetrap?
Yeah, he did not see it. He's too busy.
Says
Because
he
it wasn't
hasn't seen it.
crime.
Yeah, there's crime. There's lots of crime. But, check back with me. We ought to have toxicology, sometime tomorrow. I'm
Right.
hoping.
Toxicology on what?
On John Manchester.
It's a murder.
Ah,
See exactly if it was cyanide or something else.
well, pretty sure that the cause of death is cyanide, so...
But maybe they will have a better estimate of the time of death or something. You would have to check back.
Well, how long was it from...
Sorry.
I was going to say, how long was it from the time we heard the shots to the time we actually got upstairs? Wasn't that like 5 or 10 minutes?
Something like that.
Yeah,
I
it would have
think.
taken you 5 minutes to get up there. It's the 12th floor.
And one or two of us took the elevator, and the rest of us ran up those many flights of stairs.
Yeah,
so.
including Donnie.
I think Donnie was the only one who took the elevator.
Donnie took the elevator.
Oh, did he?
We were still huffing and puffing when we came out.
Hey, I've seen that dude wrestle fucking alligators, man. I doubt he huffs and puffs too much about anything. Anyway, as I'm having me some chili cheese corn chips. So...
God damn it. You okay, dude?
Thanks, Drake.
Good
Drake.
one, Drake.
Awesome. He's trying to kill him.
Yeah, get you some water or something.
Fuck.
Do I need to call somebody for you?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, Drake.
That was a good one. Note to self.
Piss yourself for me in
Scare Mark when
Tennessee.
he's eating.
Yeah, that's a good one. He got me faux show. Faux shizzle, bizzle. That's terrible. Marbs, don't do Snoop. It's terrible.
Yeah, don't
do Snoop.
Don't say things like that. Don't do that.
Note,
Just
note
no.
to self. Don't do Snoop. Okay. So what's up?
Yeah, what do you think we should do now? What do you think, Huff?
Well, I think it's too early in the day to hit the club. They're probably not open yet.
Looks like You're talking about the Club Apollo?
Yeah, wasn't that the other place that you wanted to go fish? Was the Club Apollo?
Oh, the Club Apollo is the one, but I think he was talking about the Bristol Opera House is the other place.
Well, there's no show on Monday.
Yeah, but the Apollo, I do remember they said they have the Sicilian cuisine and they're open all day. We could go and get to lunch.
Yes. They're open 8 to...
Oh, that's right. It was 8 a.m., wasn't
8
it?
to midnight.
Yeah,
8 to midnight.
get the spaghetti.
I want that spaghetti breakfast special.
Yeah.
No, that is 8 a.m. to noon.
Yeah,
Monday
for lunch.
through-
Breakfast,
Monday
I guess.
through Saturday. Yeah, breakfast and lunch.
Well, let's go there and get something to eat.
Where?
And we can maybe ask them, the Club Apollo.
The Club Apollo,
No.
huh?
The club.
Question:
There's
the voodoo magic thing. It says that she's there at the Club Apollo. Let's see, appearing at 8 and 11 Monday through Saturday night. So I'm assuming that's
PMs.
8 p.m. and
Mhm.
yeah, okay.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm assuming they're actually open more like 8 a.m. to midnight instead of 12 p.m.
Drake's already up in Tennessee. 18 drunks there at the moment.
That's when they serve. That would be like when the dining room or the kitchen is open for that, because it mentions the cuisine.
Drake
in
had
that
one
ad.
for me, buddy.
Yeah, dine and dance as well.
So they probably have
that probably is midnight.
like a bar and club stuff the rest of the day.
So you guys are going Club Apollo for breakfast, huh?
Maybe.
Or lunch.
Yeah, where is that on the map? Marbanya.
19. See if we can find 19.
Yeah, it's right down Oceanside Drive. Bottom left-hand corner.
What's next to it?
Next to it, where?
Blank.
11 and what's across the street
11
at 21?
13 and 20.
21.
21 is the Seaside Resort. 11 is Stevens Electrical Supply.
Steven?
We have to have Donnie to go there.
20 is Fraternal Order of Dock Workers.
Which is a gang front, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
13 is Olson's Gymnasium and Health Spa.
And what was 21? The Seaside
Resort.
Seaside Resort.
Seaside Resort. I tell you what, you guys can look at that. We're going to take a break a little early because my bladder says it's time. My
bladder agrees with your bladder.
2 big glasses of water and Propel, so yeah, I'm hydrating. Not like Drake in Tennessee at how many? He's at a cabin that sleeps like 50 people, and they're playing D&D all weekend.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Drake's in Tennessee.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's in. He's on the other side of the state, Benno. He's over in Pigeon Forge.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I've been there before.
Yeah. So let's see. How do we want to do this? I'll tell you how we'll do this. Well, first of all, let's mute some Sirenscape and let me find that. And that will cue up some music. Maybe about 10 minutes of weirdness. All right, and we'll be back here shortly. So get something to drink, something to eat. Come back. We'll see you in a moment.
Munchkin? No, you can't have any.
Share,
But I
Bruno.
want it.
What do you mean you can't have any?
The cat does
I
not need enchiladas.
Guts to have some.
I
Welcome back.
totally watch a video of a cat eating an enchilada.
To be honest, I don't want to have to clean up after it.
Oh no, I wouldn't want my cat to do it, but I totally watch another cat do it.
As long as it's not yours, right?
Right.
I got a cat that'll eat about anything, but I don't think an enchilada would be. Nah. No, but she did have some mustard and bratwurst with me yesterday.
What did you think of the mustard?
I just had a very little on the piece that I gave her. It's not my cat's, Kyle's. He'd kill me if he knew that, but she likes me more.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just remember the time when I was younger, and the dog really, really wanted the salad that we were eating for some reason because we were eating it, so it must have been good. So then my mom gave her some, and she just like chomped on it. It was like nom nom nom, and then just spit out the lettuce, having eaten all the dressing off of it.
and by then the lettuce was all just kind of like
You?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, the plate was clean, just a pile of like chewed on lettuce.
Chewed on
My
lettuce.
My sister had a roommate that had a dog, and one of the best dogs I've ever met, actually. But during Thanksgiving and Christmas and whatnot, we put most of the scraps on into a bowl for milkshake. That was the dog's name.
Okay. Okay.
Got a little concerned for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, her name was Milkshake. But anyway, when she would eat these scraps, she would eat everything except for the English peas. It was amazing how she could eat around all of the English peas without eating them.
Oh, okay. We're back. I think everybody's good to go here. We're about shoulders deep into a bunch of role play, trying to get through a murder mystery. So for those of you who are joining us late, or watching this on YouTube and you come into it in the middle, the murder of John Manchester. So you guys go to the Club Apollo, but what time is it? It's 10:30 and
I thought it was like noonish.
It was 10 when we finished the other thing.
I figured we stopped and got lunch.
We got to get there before noon. That's when the kitchen closes.
I think that's a minor typo. I think it's supposed to be midnight, not noon.
I still think that's just lunch. But I agree that made it
Have lunch anytime, I mean.
So you guys go back by the hotel, kick back for a little bit, and you're going to go down there and get there at noon and eat lunch. Right? Yeah?
That sounds
Is
good.
that the way I'm
Yeah,
understanding
Sicilian
it?
food.
All right.
Does anybody speak Italian?
Does Spanish count?
It's,
If so, is
I
it all
mean-
good?
So how do you guys, how are you dressed when you go? I'm sure you guys all brought a couple of changes of clothes with you.
Well, this is supposed to be a finer establishment, right?
Right. I'm just considering that anything that is not marked as being in your hotel room or whatever is on your person in your inventory, right?
Yeah, but
Watch the
change of clothes.
Watch the players are all scrambling to check and see. Oh shit, what's on?
I forgot to put my Hawaiian shirt on my inventory.
Yeah, because Puff Lambert doesn't even have shit listed in location.
What do you mean?
Like you could leave your backpack and your handcuffs and duct tape and shit uh, back at the
Wait,
hotel
what?
and not carry it with you just by typing hotel in there and then but
Yeah, but they're low weight. Why wouldn't I have the handcuffs with me?
well, I'm just
You
checking
never know when they're needed, right?
just checking to see what's being carried. Here's the big question. You guys get down there, do you walk, do you drive?
Well, it doesn't seem to be that far. I don't see why we wouldn't walk.
There's really not any place downtown here that's too far away, so
We're not going to need a getaway or anything.
Yeah. And when we're walking, I'm gonna keep my eye out on traffic to look for anything that's blue, a powder blue.
Powder blue.
Yes, keep an eye out for a powder blue car. Or any other
And
car.
when they say late model, they mean an older Chevy or an older model car, right?
late
never
model,
really known.
late model, 1986. So they mean that something within the last 10 years.
All right, so we'll look for the wood paneling. Got it.
It could be powder
That's a
blue.
It's not going to be like an old Chevy, like an old 50s.
Powder blue
pickup truck
Chevrolet.
type of thing.
No, it's late model powder blue Chevrolet. So think what was the bigger model in the Chevette? I had a Chevette.
Fuck if I know.
Century, Chevy Century or Centurion or something like that. Yeah. Just go Google it. 1980s powdered blue car, and you'll see all kinds of ugly shit. Because in the 80s they made ugly cars.
So from all the hairspray, it affected your brains.
Possibly.
All of your brains?
Well, the brains of all of you.
All of us.
I meant the old people.
Hairspray. There was lots of hairspray. And you get down to Club Apollo at noon, and there's lots of hairspray. Yeah, literally.
I'm picturing they're doing like a number from Hairspray.
But no, there's just a lot of people with hairspray downtown eating.
Well, I mean, it is the 80s.
Were there any powder blue cars on the way?
Let's see. Roll a notice roll.
Ooh.
Yeah, several powder blue cars on the way because it's a very popular color back in that time. So you guys walk in to Club Apollo. And is anybody carrying weapons?
Peggy has her switchblade.
Concealed carry.
Because as soon as you step in the door, you see a couple of pretty good-sized dudes sitting there, and there's a metal detector that you got to pass through.
Well, there does seem to be a number of gangs in the city, so I can understand that.
Well, Peggy does have her switchblade on her.
I have a crowbar too.
You guys, you know better than that. As you try to, go through there, it doesn't work. You know better than that. Get out of here.
Can't check my pizza.
Check his piece or something. Yeah. Here, put them in a box.
Sure.
Got my Desert Eagle there.
Oh, that's nice, man. That's nice.
Of course I have a switchblade. Why wouldn't Peggy have a switchblade?
It's just an odd mental image, is all.
They
For some
kind
reason,
of.
I'm picturing like a pink plastic handle for it too.
Oh, they can't take my wooden spoon from me.
Let's see what Donnie Donovan's carrying on him as far as inventory and weapons goes. Oh yeah, he's got a Glock, and I'd say some of this shit is probably in his old pickup truck or his whatever it is he's driving, because I don't think he's carrying an MK2 World War II pineapple, an M16A2. No, he's not carrying that shit. So you guys go in, you checked a couple of weapons that you brought with you.
Life.
And you order what? What'd you say it was? The something spaghetti?
Yeah, someone said breakfast spaghetti.
Crap. Okay.
Yeah, is it true, Peggy, that where you're from, that they put weird things onto their spaghetti?
I need to have you for just a minute.
It's
Alright.
The weird part is calling it chili. That's what makes it weird. If you don't call it chili, suddenly it's not so weird.
Or they could call it like a Cincinnati Bolognese.
Cincinnati.
Is that the one that they put cinnamon in?
Yes.
I believe so, yes.
Cinnamon in the chili?
Yeah, and put it on spaghetti.
Oh, no.
Cheese and onions.
Awful.
That's where Peggy's from.
Oh, that's
I'll
awful.
pass.
Yeah, I don't think so. So Roland sounded like he had to do an emergency AFK, so I'm kind of waiting on him before we... Looky there!
Hey, it's
Donnie. Speaking of Donnie, yeah.
I'm worried where he's hiding his pineapple grenade. I remember the Drock situation, Venno.
Oh my. Hopefully not in the same place. Because that could be awkward.
I don't remember his walls looking all that mod and stuff. I wonder if his girlfriend said that's enough living like this bullshit and painted his... Look, his living room's all...
We've been moving.
Oh, that's a new place?
Yeah, we're doing some work on the other place there. Like, we gotta get a plumber in for the one side.
Gotcha.
So
Long story, gotcha. Well, welcome, Donnie Boone. So, I guess Donnie Boone meets up with you guys back at the hotel about noon before you go to lunch. He's been to the cemetery and the library where he got kicked out for getting McRib barbecue sauce on the books. But
Pretty sure there's a sign outside that says no food or drink.
Yeah. He did find out, though, that there's been some shit going on down in kind of the historic part of the graveyard, and the cemetery caretaker there. He's got he's kind of been studying this, and he's got an idea that something might be happening on, this coming Friday night. He just got a feeling that, the last few years this shit's been going on. And he's gonna hide out and catch him. Yeah, whatever.
It's the witches, ain't it?
And that's what Donnie tells you when he gets back. Now, Donnie, you get back and you find out they've been to the Manchester building and the police station, and now they're going to the Club Apollo to have some lunch.
But since we have Donnie now, we could go in the van and we could just keep all our weapons there instead of having to.
You could do that. We could retcon that. So let's, just so that
we don't have to walk.
So that the stream, can understand here. Let's find Donnie's van. There it is. There's old Donnie's creeper van. He's not even on the table to see it.
He stepped away for a second.
So they got the beats going on in here. And the maitre d' asks you as you come in. Well, let's see. Ron's missing. Wicked's here. So we're going to give Ron in just a minute to get back. So yeah, we'll retcon that. You guys leave all your weapons in Donnie's creeper van parked outside. And you head in. Okay, cool. Everybody's here.
Oh, good. It looked like you really, really had to go to the bathroom. But I see you're back, Huff. So that's good.
So the maitre d', They ask if they require regular seats or special seats this afternoon, gentlemen.
What are special seats?
For special people.
You know, in the gaming area, you know. He's looking at you guys like, don't you know where the hell you're at?
Well, I thought I did, but it's a little different than I imagined.
Yeah, you see some girls dancing up on tables. They're clothed, you know, because in Massachusetts, heaven forbid you would have naked women in small town
Well, look at
Massachusetts.
those ankles.
Look at those ankles. Says the East German.
Those necks.
But yeah, so you'll take lunch then?
Yes, I think just a regular table.
Okay. So he takes you into the main room that you see here, you know, and you do see a stage up there that nobody's on it right now. There's like stage curtains and everything. But they bring some menus around, and yeah, there's some funky kinds of you know, it's typical Massachusetts stuff. There's lobster, there's surf and turf, and just so happens that some you know, they're starting to get some Gulf Coast oysters up now. You know, it is November. Month has an R in it, so.
What is sort of... I heard that you have very good Sicilian food. What would you recommend, waiter?
So the maitre d' seats you and he leaves, and the waiter comes over and, oh, well, I recommend it. You have this, and then we got meatloaf.
What?
Meatloaf.
How is that Sicilian?
Sicilian meatloaf.
Yeah, you
It's got
just
Sicilian spices on
They
top.
put
Yeah.
basil in it.
yeah, some basil and some spaghetti noodles, and hey man, you got Sicilian meatloaf.
Put a little squishy on top of it. Fry it up.
Don't melt your meatloaf. Ah, get out of here. So yeah, there's no show going on. There's a couple of girls dancing, and other than that, there's people sitting around eating lunch and stuff. You do see that there's a door in the back. There's a couple of that's what
That's what a special seat is.
entrances. It's guarded by a couple of thugs dressed in tuxes. Big
Suspenders.
suspicious bulges under the arms of their tuxedos. So, like, you know, they're both standing
Obviously,
here.
they're packing.
I
Yeah.
hope that is not their lymph nodes.
What?
They could be very, very infected.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I used to use the poison. I'd blow it in people's face, make their lymph nodes. German spy.
That's classified.
It's classified.
Oh,
Can't talk
actually.
about that.
Now I have to kill you.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I can start shutting some of this stuff down, and I would have so much less window clutter. So, you guys get your food. Is there anything particular you want to do in here, or are you just here to eat, or what?
Try to look around and see if anyone looks really suspicious and sniff. See if there's any perfume smell.
Yeah. Violet lipstick, perfume smells.
There's you know, it's the typical
Is her name
smells
Nel
of a. There is a sign that says Nel Taro. You know, it's like an old-fashioned vaudevillian billboard. You know, that's got this Nel Taro performing. She puts on a spectacular show, but that's not till the nighttime.
Have to come back and see that.
And you see a guy kind of goes in that back door, and you can kind of hear ding 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 going off back there, and you know it's obviously you kind of look and you can see some lights flashing. Although it's a hallway, you really can't see back into that room to see what's in there, but you can see the lights flashing off the hallway
It's the
wall.
illicit pinball game.
No fish. I'm pretty sure it's a gambling racketeering.
You know you can gamble with pinball. You can gamble with anything if you really try.
Wait,
I mean, that is true.
gambling? Those guys? I thought that was the line for the bathroom.
Well, Peggy's down if there's gambling.
Oh, they really had to pee if their bladders were inflating in their arms.
Big guys. Big guys have big poops.
Wait, what?
If they all they eat is McRibs, yeah.
Sid's gonna ask the waitress after a while, when she's coming to check on drinks or something, and ask her if she knows if Ralph or John Manchester frequented here. The waitress.
Just one pigtail off to the side.
And leggings.
Yeah. Well, Peggy's in leggings.
No, of course not. We're just kind of curious.
Yeah, if we were, we would have to tell you. I'm pretty
So
sure
what's
that's
the
how it
cat?
works.
You know what that got the cat?
Well, much like cats, we can't help ourselves.
Well, I'm only here to take your orders. So,
Well,
what's it gonna
hold
be,
on one
boys?
second. I was gonna slip her a $20 bill.
I have special, please.
She takes the 20 and she goes, "This gets you no special favors, but thanks." She stuffs it in her. And you guys order your food, whatever it may be.
Well, I was hoping it would give me the information that I asked for.
Well, what'd you ask for?
If Ralph or John frequented here. Even though they've only been open.
She takes your $20 bill and she walks away after taking your order. Doesn't tell you shit. She asks what you
think that
want
counts
for
as a tip.
sides.
Well,
Was that a cat's ass, Wicked?
Yes, there's a cat who just said to climb over my TV from the back.
of course.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
shoved his ass up in the camera. I'm like, I look over and there's a cat's ass in the camera. And I'm like, what's he
Just-
doing?
Came over top the camera.
I think there's a law against no cat's ass on Twitch or something. I don't know.
No, you're allowed to have that as long as you don't have the cat nipples. No cat nipples.
No cat nipples. Yeah, I don't think you can say cat nipples.
Yeah,
anyway.
they don't like nipples of any kind, but cat ass is perfectly acceptable for some reason.
That's right, Ron, and that's every Marb played waitress in the 1980s. You know it. You know it. So you get your food. What else you guys doing in here? She brings your food back and lobster rolls. Feeling fancy, not too fancy. I recommend the bisque. The bisque is good. You know, but truthfully, it's just a way to get rid of the lobster from yesterday. Kind of like the bread pudding. I
wrong
recommend the
with
bread pudding.
I'll have that for dessert.
Also, a way to use up
Say
the bread.
probably the lobster rolls too.
That's right.
I mean, they serve them all over the place down in Massachusetts. But it's just a hot dog bun with lettuce and chunked up lobster.
Really, on a hot dog bun?
They cut that bun on
Yeah.
top instead of on the
But
side.
the Massachusetts hot dog buns, ones that come in a line, so you grill both sides of the bun. Like it doesn't really have
Yeah, they cut them
as
different.
much crust.
They're shaped weird or something. I don't know.
It's more like a long, narrow sandwich.
Yeah, like they're not like a whole roll. Yeah, so it cooks them all in a line. So you actually like slice it and then tear them apart. So both of the sides of the roll are plain bread. So you only have a crust on the very little top line, and that's it.
Well, there you go. So you guys are having the lobster. The what'd you call them? Lobster dogs? What?
Lobster rolls.
Lobster rolls.
Sid's having chicken parmesan.
Chicken parmesan. Okay.
Yep.
Um.
With bread pudding for dessert.
Well, let's see. Waitress doesn't know anything.
Pretty typical.
Or if she
Yeah,
does,
it's
she
bartender
certainly
who would
ain't.
know.
But she took your 20.
Is there a bar you can walk up to here?
There is, yeah.
Maybe. Wait, what is the? Is it a male or a female bartender?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, what?
Well, I'm not sure whether or not which of you should go and speak with them.
I mean, it might be a little too early for transgender.
Why are you kidding me? Boy George? You know, this is 1980s, man.
I said a little too early.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is.
these Americans and their big pervs. I do not understand. Fish has this like neat like cropped hair.
Actually, the guy looks just like Prince. We'll say he looks like Prince. Very
Okay, so you can do what
androgynous.
you go up there,
Obviously a man, but very androgynous, you know.
Yeah.
And
Peggy, maybe you could go and get some information if you have seen anything. And if that doesn't work, then we can send Sid and Huff.
Wait, why me and Huff?
Or what is the two of you? I don't know. Me and Donnie will stay here and look around. Ooh, lobster roll.
Where are we supposed to be going?
I don't know. They came here for lunch, but it's too early for the shows. I mean, you guys can come back and see Nel Taro later tonight.
Maybe we'll have to do that.
Still think the bartender might know something if someone does.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, so you go up and talk to the bartender, and the bartender, you ask him what?
I think Peggy should go and
What do you know?
her feminine powers on him.
Oh, right.
Sell him some drugs, I guess.
Oh, you're gonna go sell him some drugs and use your feminine powers.
Or still his, one of the two.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the bartender doesn't know anything either. He's like, man, I just work days, you know. Leave me alone. I'm writing an album.
Yeah, that also checks out.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, my name is this.
What?
Oh, hello.
The symbol.
The bartender.
The symbol.
Bartender formerly known as.
The bartender formerly known as Prince. But my name is this now. Okay.
Okay, that's hurt my head, and Sid just walks away.
Well, we are not hungry, and we found out that is interesting about the graveyard, Donnie. Did you find anything else out?
Well, I think he learned that you don't take McRibs, or any food for that matter, into the library.
Did he learn that? Though?
Yeah, it was a bit of a dead end. I was hoping to.
That's what he should have learned.
Something about the medallion, but I went down and checked out the graveyard. Now the graves were vandalized. It looked like somebody's trying real hard for this whole voodoo thing. So I think they're trying to fake it. I think I got some pictures. We'll get them, had them dropped off. So
You
I
can
can
go
pick
by the
them up tomorrow.
Walgreens.
You know,
Go by Walgreens, drop off your pictures.
we can stop over. There's that guy doing that voodoo show. He might have a better idea to tell us.
Is that here? But that tonight?
Yeah.
Is that here tonight?
Yeah, this must be Walgreens right here. It's not listed on the map, but there it is on the map. Walgreens. Voodoo show? Yeah, there's a voodoo show tonight, 8 o'clock. And the bartender says, I recommend it. It's actually pretty good from what I've heard. I've only seen it once. And pretty exciting, but, you know, I got an album to write.
Hey, don't forget to use the synthesizer.
Be careful, because later it's supposed to purple rain.
Oh boy.
What's your band name, man?
He already told you.
If you heard him,
He
it
did.
would be something brand new. It would be like it coming out. It would be a revolution.
Yeah, his ancestors there that were in the book that he was reading, that was the people that got their graves vandalized. So
Maybe it's a very,
I
very
think-
Lionel Manchester.
I think somebody was there to steal that medallion from one of those graves for some reason. I don't know what it has to do with anything, but it's an awful lot of collaboration going on.
Yeah. All right. Any place else you guys would like to go? Let's roll the clock forward about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. You spent 2 hours there, enjoying your meal, talking to some people, watching the dancers, watching people come in and out of the back room. Some of them intoxicated awful early in the day.
It's like they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. They say that a lot in the Soviet Union. It has a lot of time zones. And a lot of drinking.
They have clocks that just say vodka 30 all the way around them, don't they?
I think it just says vodka o'clock.
Well, we should probably find something else.
We should find a
Right.
way.
Okay, so now supposedly the jewelry is fake too. So, was the jewelry stolen and replaced with fakes, or?
That's what it seems like.
Or could be that cat burglar we read about.
Right. What was the other place that was hit by the cat?
I see. There's been 5 times in this area, I think.
Next time we're at the police station, we should ask about that. So.
Stolen Saturday night from Van Horn residence.
Saturday night.
Oh yeah, we could ask. Maybe we could ask them if they found fake jewelry where they're supposed to be.
Right. See if it's the same thing. Well,
You guys didn't ask the cops about the Van Horn deal, did you?
We didn't know about it at the time. Or didn't think about it at the time.
That's where I put my thumb when I'm reading the paper.
It's a big thumb.
that's a big thumb, yeah. Fish thumb.
So let's see, where have you been? You've been to...
But you could look in the phone book and find out where the Van Horns are. If you know they are in the North Hill area, we could go ask them.
Oh, Van Horn residence. I don't see anything that says there. It's not an entry anyway, so let's say.
It's probably off the map then. You must have a huge bladder, Donnie.
Why do you think he immediately looked for the bathroom when we came in here?
Research.
Now the question is, are you drinking the same thing or getting something different every time?
I don't know. He sticks with his Dr. Pepper if they got it. If not, Coke, I suppose, or some variation.
What
As
do
long
you
as it's
think of
not
that
the new
new Coke?
Coke.
Yeah, what do you think of the new Coke? It's got the vegetables, you said.
Vegetables.
What?
Yeah, the corn.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
corn syrup.
compared to the cherry Coke, that's also new. I mean, I think that extra, like,
Was that his fruit and
Right.
vegetables?
See, where was the
practically
Dexter
a
up to?
diet drink.
I think that the Reagan administration is going to classify it as a fruit for school lunches.
Where
Coke.
the hell is 35 at? That's the Dexter Upton Memorial Cemetery, but I don't see it on the map.
35.
Isn't that the one with like fence poles around it?
Yeah, Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's the one with the fence post around it.
Oh,
Right here.
yeah, okay. So Donnie wasn't way out in the country. He was right there. Oh, that's an old cemetery too, right next to Revere Road. Ooh.
What's building 30?
Probably the mortuary.
Museum of Natural History.
Close enough.
I mean, there's a cemetery right here, and there's a gas station next to it. There's a lot of possibilities next to cemeteries.
Yep. But yeah, Museum of Natural History. Let's see.
That's kind of ironic, actually.
Where do you think they get their exhibits?
I don't think I have an entry for the Museum of Natural History.
What about for number 17? What is that?
Mansfield residence. Where you see that?
Oh, that's just a house?
It's next to the cemetery.
Next to the cemetery, 17, right there. Yeah, and I believe... Oh, let's see. You know what? I've got a...
I have a question here. When we were looking in the phone book before, did we look up this, hey, what was her name? Linda Ann Thompson.
Linda Ann Thompson. Let's see.
Or how many Thompsons are there in town? So it's not that big of a city.
You don't find a Linda Ann Thompson listed. There's
Perhaps
a
she's
Linda
not from
Thompson, but not New Bristol.
Any Thompsons in New Bristol?
Wait a second. Yeah, you don't find anything about Linda Ann Thompson in the phone book. Okay, next question.
Any other Thompsons? Is there a Thompson
Sure,
family?
there's Thompsons. Got to be Thompsons.
There's so many that we can't be like, hey, let's go to call the one Thompson family and say, hey, do you know Linda?
Linda Ann.
There's Linda Ann there. There's no Linda Ann here. Quit calling.
What do you mean quit calling?
I know it's you kids.
Oh yeah, I'm a teenager from the school.
Is your refrigerator running?
It's the commies again, Harold.
Harold?
Harold Thompson. Yeah, you called Harold Thompson.
No, wrong Harold. Not ghost friend Harold.
Yeah, Harold Thompson.
Ghost friend's in the cemetery.
Are you guys drawing a blank?
Well, right now, I mean, we haven't come across anybody that's like somebody that would be wearing violet lipstick yet.
Yeah.
Except for Peggy. Pretty sure she didn't do it.
Violet? He's not going to wear violet.
So you guys only know when the last place was robbed?
Yeah, we don't know about the other places.
We could ask Bob again. Or we could, call up, who is it in North Hill? The Van Horn residence. See if they got
recently. It was in the paper.
Yeah. See if they have if theirs were fake too, or if it was something else. Or we just ask Bob about the cat burglar in general.
Yeah.
Man, I could have swore there was a... Oh, it is 85 Van Horn residence. Well,
That's all the way up there.
Just wondering if all the robberies occurred in days that the play was
There's
going.
yeah.
Who's 74?
Fresh from the sea, seafood restaurant.
No, we
74
go
is
for
a seafood
dinner.
restaurant?
It's time for 11sies.
Wait,
What
there's
about
this.
second lunch?
Hold on, because there's a 74 right down by the coast. I think is that.
Are there
Oh,
274s?
there are two
Our
74s.
274s.
Yeah, so it's
It's a
like Captain
chain.
D's.
What's 86, 83, and 56?
They specialize
Or,
in lobster rolls.
Rolls.
What's what?
83.
So you get up in this area, and you actually see a lot of cars around this house right here. Like there's people milling about, wearing suits and stuff, and you see women in hats. It's not Kentucky Derby Day, so you're not sure what's going on. What is that? 86. 86 is the Nelson residence. I have no idea why there's an arrow there.
The box is small, I guess.
Can't write 86 in that box. You
Let's
write it
see.
out for now.
Oh. Frank Nelson was the mayor of New Bristol.
Was.
Oh, Donnie, what happened? Do you know anything about the former mayor?
I haven't heard anything.
And Donnie's not really from here. I mean, what's in the paper about those were councilmen, though, weren't they? Not the mayor.
Yeah,
I
city
thought you knew
council.
everything about the
Alderman.
government here in Massachusetts.
Just meantime, got my eyes open for the big picture. Connecting the dots.
I mean, maybe he was the one who put the fluoride in the water. What do you think about fluoride in water, Donnie?
Told you, so they can help see you from space. Trying to put up them satellites.
From the contrails, man.
Then you glow on their cameras.
Wait, what? I was only partially paying attention.
Donnie says they put the fluoride in the water and then they can see you from the space.
Oh, okay.
Because you
What?
put glow on the satellite. I don't know. Just
Sometimes
not
it's
as
build
well.
up through your bloodstream. And then you carry this fluoride around in your body. And then when they look at you through the satellite imaging, it helps them to pick you out so they can see where you're moving easier. Camera technology just isn't there yet. So
Okay.
Uh-oh, the boss comes sneaking up on him. Dude, look at him turn around and duck.
She's like, why are you telling them about our fluoride secrets? That's a family secret.
Well, we'll carry on while he gets his ass
so
cheeked.
she hasn't been on camera in a while, so I was reminding her that there was in fact a camera.
She'd tell her she's a big star now. For the whole 6 people in Rogue Girl is out there. Okay. Everlost is here. Captain's crew. Alicidra. Engorgio's still lurking. Alright. So, where are you guys at? You head back to the hotel? You're driving around? I'll tell you what, you go pick up the police chief, and he rides around with you, and he's pointing out some stuff. He's kind of giving you a tour around town, so that explains how you're finding out. Well, oh yeah, that's my friend. He used to be the mayor here, blah blah blah. As you drive past, but
You say it was his friend? Fred Nelson's his friend?
Yeah.
He's probably being diplomatic too.
Yeah, he was. Till the damn Jarrett gang ran him out of his office.
Oh, what did they do? They seem like they had
That's
trouble.
just, never mind. You didn't hear me say that.
Oh, no,
Who's the
no.
current mayor?
Ask that McGee.
The evil Fukar, Lord Fukar.
Oh, it's not just Mayor Jerkface.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his name is Mayor Jerkface.
Jerkface McJerkins.
Oh, I know he's French. His last name is Meyer Guy. Jerkface Meyer Guy.
Okay. All right. So you guys are just stalling out here, man. Tell me what your plan is. Where you? I'm trying to get my story
we
lined
still need
up.
to. We still need to talk to the Kelly Brothers Construction.
Yeah, we could go ask them if they know anything.
That's number
But that could
65.
be-
Who can find
that
number
could be
65?
That could be potentially dangerous.
It's right here on the way.
I'll make sure that my 45's good to go.
Detective Dick Tracy tells you, I can't even remember the damn detective's name.
Bob
Davison.
Bob Davidson. He's like, listen, man, if you're, I don't need to be seen going by there. I'm not that far from retirement. But if you want to see it, so you guys go, you're coming back from. By the way, did you go to Van Horn's house or what?
Well, we drove up there, I guess.
We're just getting the tour, I guess.
Yeah, so you drove up there and you see it's like an old Victorian, and he's like, see, way up there at the top's where they came in, so they got to have some great cat burglar skills. I mean, it's probably a tabaxi.
It's a Khajiit. Totally a Khajiit.
Was Bob in our game? Was Bob at the convention?
Yes, but he was in cosplay, and you're like, wait a minute, I know now. I know this guy.
Well, let's speak with the Van Horns, yeah?
Well, we're not gonna go bother the Van Horns, but I do have information on. I can tell you.
Why don't you just tell us what you know? Did they also have the fake jewels?
Let's see. So I've got so many story entries open here. You guys are fuckers going just everywhere, which is good.
At least we can skip the party.
Where the hell's the newspaper? So I need the police station again. Police station. Here we go. The Van Horn burglary. Well, there's actually been about 5 burglaries in New Bristol that show the same modus operandi.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you have the alibi, Peggy. Don't worry, I was there.
You weren't here.
Wait,
during
is that
most of those.
Is that a new bracelet you have?
No, I've always had this.
The burglar or burglars have never been seen. In every case, the job was professional, and only the most valuable objects kept in-house safes were stolen. The safe was cracked open without visible signs of entry, no fingerprints left, none of the stolen items reported by, known fences that we've went to talk to. Mrs. Van Horn had put the jewelry in the safe at 8 p.m. and discovered the robbery at 10 the same evening. And the police estimate that it would have taken approximately 1 hour to crack open the safe.
2 hours.
And leave no marks of entry.
While she was in the house.
Yep. All while she was in the house.
It must be. Maybe we must be careful. They could be here right now.
And you know why I'm posting this stuff? That's in case you guys want to drag those to your notes. Because you can drag that stuff right into a note, and it'll.
Yeah.
Along with timestamps.
I did not know that.
Yep. So you might want to go back and grab all the little. Just saying. Just saying. So you drive by Kelly Brothers Construction. He says, Don't start any trouble.
Wait, we're doing a drive-by on Kelly Brothers?
We're not doing a drive-by on Kelly Brothers. No.
Well, Donnie's got
No.
a grenade.
I mean, I'm ready.
There's a gate that leads into the parking lot. There's a big chain and lock on it. And there's a large dude with scarred up cheeks,
They ain't broken nose.
broken nose, big old shoulders, neck's wider than his ears. And he stops and he looks at you guys and he takes this billy club off his
moved it
hands.
loose.
I don't know, we lost somebody. Oh.
They're back, apparently.
They're back. And you see him kind of looking at you. He notices you guys stopped out there. And Donaldson's like, come on, let's get going. Let's get going. And
So we see Donald there?
Donaldson.
Bob.
The Bob Davidson.
Detective
Oh.
Bob.
Yeah, not Donaldson, Davidson. He's riding with you guys, and he's like, "Come on, we don't need to be seen."
Wait,
here,
we
you
could sneak in at nighttime and look at all the records? Or we could call and make an appointment to get a building built.
You could sneak in here at night.
I'm down for that.
You could certainly try.
I could call him and pretend that I am a investor from the West Germany and I want to build a building outside of town. And then we could go meet with him.
A big fancy building.
Oh yeah, it's the biggest. It's the pointy roof! We're not allowed to have the flat roofs after the incident.
Yeah, so he drives by there. What else we got? You're out driving around. 96 Massachusetts Security Trust Bank is here. I don't know who this is. Whose blue arrow is this?
Somebody finding 65.
I think that was mine.
Yeah,
I
okay.
was asking what was next to
64 is Acme Gun Shop.
Oh, you mean it's not the Nintendo store?
No,
See, I haven't got that many bits yet.
there is no Nintendo store. Here's the General Hospital here. Adams General Hospital that you pass by.
Well, that's good to know where that is.
What's
just in
91?
case.
Because it's a really weird shaped building.
Oh, that's the Adams apartment buildings.
Aha.
And
Yeah, that
you
makes
guys
sense.
would have heard that because one of the
Somebody lives there.
one of the employees, the gardener or somebody, hang on.
Well, if we can't think of anything else, we could take a nap until it's time for the mousetrap. We should get our tickets in advance, yeah? Oh, wait, no, it's not open today.
Brad, chop chop.
Tomorrow.
We could go see that voodoo show later after we take a nap.
Yes. I don't know about the nap. Okay.
Trying to find who it was. Oh, it's the chauffeur, Chuck. Somebody lives in the. I think that's
The limo driver?
the limo driver. Yeah. I think he lives in the. Perhaps. Let's see. That is 91. And I don't have that, so. Wrong apartment buildings. Adams apartment building. I don't have an entry on that.
I've heard that before.
Yes, I do.
Somebody lives there.
Yes, I do. Adams apartment building. It is not one of their employees that lives there.
I heard something. I remember something about some apartment building. Maybe it was a different.
Bywater Apartments.
It's somebody that's like the chauffeur or the gardener or somebody
And it
lives
was,
there.
yes, and it was Chuck Garrison, the chauffeur,
Right, the chauffeur.
the limo driver, lives in the Bywater Apartments. All right.
I'm gonna assume that that's somewhere on Bywater Road.
We could stop at the gun shop there and ask if they've recently sold 45. Whoever fired through the window apparently wasn't a good shot.
Yes, that's true.
Or
Let's
it was
ask them.
intentionally missed.
No, I like this idea. Let's ask them.
Oh, I can
I
actually
mean, which
share
may
that.
mean they are a new gun.
Or they were, or something scared them.
Let's see.
Maybe we get some extra ammo while we're there too.
I don't think there's an entry for the gun shop.
I have a blank window here if it says Acme Gun Shop.
Yeah, it's because I shared that with you so that you guys can. Some of these are just pins I made so you know where. These are places you can go as you're outfitting yourself during this.
Gotcha.
You know, there's some stores and stuff, and so I made pins so you could get back to those stores. But I didn't want to make a pin for everything on this map because there is a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should stop at the gun store and we get the extra bullets and ask about the guns. I don't know why the accent did not sound right there.
Let's see, 79. Where's 79? Where's 79? Shit.
Well, that was the casing that was outside was like from a 45.
I believe so, yes. I wonder if a bullet was ever dug out of the wall and
Yeah,
done
I think we found the
forensics
bullets.
Yeah, it said something about it.
Well, they're
In the
probably
key,
testing
it
that.
said that.
Probably.
So when you mouse over that, does it now show you what it is? You don't really need to open the record because there's nothing in it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
it just says Acme Gun Shop.
No, the one up at the top.
It doesn't show anything right now.
So I actually have
Oh,
to
there it
share
is.
the record to.
The
Military.
military surplus store.
Yeah, so that's just another place you can shop. There's a computer store, there's a wilderness store, there's an electrical supply, Dell's Tool and Die. So basically, you can outfit yourself. Co's Hardware,
Right.
So
Chemical
if we need a
Supply
particular
House.
item, we can go find it.
Yeah.
But I think that we could definitely. I would like to go and ask the gun store guy and get the bullets. Let's do that, yeah.
Yeah, you never have too many bullets. That's fine.
Okay. Let's see. Let's just make sure I don't have. Because I sure thought I had an entry for. I guess I don't. Nope. Okay then.
I don't know.
So you go to the gun store and you ask the guy what? Donnie says we should get some matching 45 long barrel revolvers.
44. I had it wrong. Magnus.
We should
I
ask
thought
him
you were
about-
talking Dirty Harry stuff there.
Yeah, that's what it was. I looked it up to make sure, and it says
The
44
44.
Magnum Smith. Long Brown.
Yeah. A gun that I don't really care to shoot. It's way too much hand cannon.
I wouldn't want to have to draw it. It just looks uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's just too big.
Alright, so it's 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, you finish your little tour. You've had lunch. You take a tour. It's later than that. And we're going to say it's 4 o'clock.
I'm gonna go to
The
the gun
police
store and get
chief
bullets
is rode
and ask about
around.
stuff.
Yeah, you guys could do some shopping if you wanted to while you're in town. And the police chief kind of looks at you guys as you're, checking out the gun store. He goes, "Now remember, I don't need any other crimes to be committed here in the city while you guys are in town, if you get my drift. But good
We
luck
will
with the
do our best.
investigation, and you drop him off at the police station. And let's see, what
We
does
will
he
do our
tell
best,
you?
Chief.
Did I give you the Van? Yes, I gave you the Van Horn information. He said call me tomorrow about noon. He said I should have forensics back on the toxicology reports and stuff.
Would he have gotten the bullet out of the wall to do forensics on it?
Did they dig the barrel out of the wall?
I think it was.
The bullet.
I think it was deflected because there was a mention of the brick.
Yeah, there was a chunk of brick missing, but I don't think the bullet was ever found. The casing was found.
Perhaps they removed the bullet as well.
But you can go back to the scene of the crime thing, the crime scene, and see if there's a bullet. I don't think there was a bullet.
Yeah, there was.
A ricochet 45 bullet partly embedded in a log.
There you go. They dug it out. Okay.
It was in the fireplace.
And you do find the casing and the bullet. There you go.
So they probably can. I don't know if
They might be able to match it up to a gun.
they can match it up, but I think we need another bullet for them to compare it against. I don't think they have like a computer database because it's
Yeah.
they don't have a fax machine.
They judge a lot on these guys for the fact they don't have a fax machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see the guy in the gun shop. He goes, "What's a database?"
Oh, just wait, it's coming, brother.
What's a computer?
Yeah, so have you sold any? I was wondering, maybe we could ask you some questions. Have you sold any 45 caliber guns lately?
Oh.
See, I'm more of an aficionado of these smaller calibers. That's why I bought out these 22 bullets. But I was wondering if that's something that's a big seller here.
Give me a spirit roll.
A spirit roll. Are we in the
Gunther.
spirit world?
Gunther. Just Gunther.
Double eight.
Double H. You got a raise? He said, yeah. I sold a 45 to somebody. I don't recall quite who that could be at the moment. If I had something in my hand, it would jog my memory.
It dropped a $50 bill into your hand. Wait, is that a thing? I feel like they had bigger bills in the 80s.
You drop a 50 into his hand?
I really want to know.
He's like that. Yeah, that jogs my memory. That's your. I think it's one of the police officers. He slips it in his pocket.
Well, do you recall which one by chance?
Oh. About all of them. I sell guns to all them cops down there.
Yes, but which one recently?
In other words, he just he doesn't know anything about. He said, I sell a lot of guns.
Have you smelled any strange exotic perfumes in your store lately?
You know, it's not that easy to buy a gun in Massachusetts.
Yeah, you gotta walk into the store yourself.
No, I think Massachusetts is like Illinois.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
The places where it's hardest to get a gun is where you find the most gun-related crime.
Yeah, because it's hard to get the guns, so it's a great place to sell ones if you buy them elsewhere. You get all the markup. I mean, I do use that. I feel like Fish would know that.
Let's see. He doesn't. He said, I'm not really at liberty to disclose. Blah, blah, blah. But is there anything? He gives you your $50 bill back. He says, you got to watch how you approach people. He said, now see, I could have kept that $50 bill and been an ass, but I'd rather sell you a fine firearm, sir. Let me show you what I got.
Oh, okay.
And I need thievery rolls from anybody who's got thievery.
Oh. All right, I guess.
It's a success.
Yeah, they're both successes. That's good enough that, he shows you all of his weapons and stuff, and most of it's small arms. you know, you got some hunting rifles and you got a couple of bird shotguns, and you know, 38s
Pistols.
and pistols. There's nothing like real heavy hitting stuff here, but you do get a lead on, you know, if there's something else you're looking for, I might have somebody can help you.
I don't know, like automatic 45 pistol, maybe.
I don't know about that.
Hmm.
Why an auto?
I mean, that's what our notes said we found.
Oh,
Like, I don't know what makes an auto round different, but what it says.
wouldn't, as far as I know.
Right.
Also,
He said,
I feel like Sid would want a Desert Eagle.
He
That's
said
just
you
me.
can buy a 45 here. Desert Eagle's a 50 caliber
Yeah.
weapon.
That's a big gun.
That's
Yeah,
what I think
fuck
Sid
that.
would want.
Yeah, that's what I got right here.
Yeah.
Is that what Huff has?
Yeah. No thanks.
And a 45 looks similar. It's a smaller frame, smaller gun. He says, you know, I sell 45s here. He said, but you know, I'd need to be more specific. I've sold several 45s, and I can't just start disclosing my, you know, my customers to if you had some kind of warrant or something. You know, I'm a Second Amendment guy, First Amendment as well, and Fourth Amendment.
Peggy
But are you a
flutters her
fan of the
eyes a
Third Amendment?
bit.
Real constitutional kind of guys.
I'm going to give you the third degree over the First and Second and Fourth Constitution Amendment. But he tells you, I think it could be, I'm pretty sure it's the Wharf Rat Bar.
What can we find there?
Down here, number, whatever this is,
48.
47.
I just left Baltimore.
Yep, down here on the bay. I think is a, I'm not finding it now, but I believe.
And what did you call this place?
Wharf Rat.
Wharf Rat.
Although the note shared says 48 on it.
Ah,
I'm trying to.
Oh wait, there's two 47s.
There is.
Sure
Did
is.
they not get a proofreader here? We've already found two duplicates.
274s and 247s. There's 247s too.
That's a clue.
Where's the other 47? There's this
Right
one.
here.
Right across the
Right
street.
here.
is he giving you a raging clue, Brad?
I'm trying to find.
At least the 74s were separated by half the map. The 47s are like right across the street from each other.
Yeah, so tell us about this Wharf Rat. Wharf Rat. Is this bar?
Which one is the Wharf Rat bar first?
So let's see
Sounds like a sailor's bar.
the Wharf Rat Bar is the center of the black market in town. That's what you
Oh,
find out from
perfect.
this guy. So that's what your thievery got you at the Acme gun store was. He said he's got a connection down at the Wharf Rat Bar, and he says to ask for you know, Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo doesn't have a fucking name in here. That's how important he is.
Alright, we know Joe Schmo did not do it.
So,
Somebody did.
Jingo did that to me. Ship of Fools coming by. Say hi to the Ship of Fools. All right, buddy. Yeah, thanks for lurking, man. He's got
Good job, man.
He's got his stream with Mama Jingo tonight. Martian Cat. She does okay, I
Something.
can't. It's it's stories that you play out. What the hell just happened?
Interactive novels.
Choices. It's called Choices.
Interactive novels, basically.
Yeah. But she's over at Martian Cat with a K-A-T. So Jingo's lurking. Thank you for supporting us, brother. Appreciate it. So you've got Dell's Tool and Die number 7. Where's that at? I'm just gonna share these out. Did that share? Damn it.
Yes.
Okay, where is number 7? Help me find this, and we'll get this out of the way so that you guys know where these places are. First person to find 7 gets winner chicken dinner. Oh, this is way over here.
It's right
On
there. Where's
Newgate
my
Street.
dinner?
Where's my dinner?
It's on Newgate and Narragansett Boulevard.
Brad might actually.
Narragansett.
Brad. I mean, Marb.
Do what?
Brad
Chicken.
might actually hold you to that chicken dinner.
He's showing up in Missouri. Man, where's that chicken dinner? Well, we got KFC or Country Mart.
What, no
Oh,
churches or Popeyes?
let's see, 39. 39.
Best KFC I ever went to was in Kentucky.
Let's see, 39B
Oh, I would
is
hope so.
They had a buffet and everything. It was
number
awesome.
11.
39's right here.
Number 11.
KFC buffet. That's kind of different.
Oh, yeah.
No, number 11.
11's down on Walpole Lane.
That's a New Bristol Times. That's a newspaper office.
What did you say, Rondon?
11.
Number 11's on Walpole Lane down there, just off of Oceanside Drive.
David?
What?
Number 4.
Oh. A lot of Stevens in this town.
I think he told us that name before as well.
That's
We were next to it.
Dell's Tool and Die. Caddy corner across Newgate from Dell's Tool and Die.
Number 2 is really big up here.
Yeah.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
Where would one buy a Polaroid camera in the 80s?
Oh, Smith's Discount Center, man. Number 23. Yeah, it's like Walmart, right? Yeah. Wherever 23 is. Should be somewhere.
Right there.
Oh. There you go. And 20.
This looks like a baseball field over here.
Probably. No,
24
it's
is
the
right here.
right residence. 24 is a novelty.
Tricks novel. Oh man, I'm getting ideas.
Stop.
What?
You just found a
Tricks,
costume
novelties,
store.
and costumes. We have to go undercover.
We'll all wear Ronald Reagan masks.
Oh God.
All right, then we got Burns Pawn Shop, which is right here.
Where's it at?
We should check that out. See if there's anything
Definitely.
suspicious sold.
Definitely check for any jewelry.
55 there. Burns Pawn Shop.
I feel like that would be a bad place. Where's the police? 34?
Well, I'm pretty sure the police have already checked the local pawn shops and fences.
Wilson's Department Store. Chemical Supply House, number 58.
Chemical Supply House. Donnie, what are you cooking up?
Nothing yet.
Alright, I'm getting this crop duster idea now.
Chemical
You can
Supply
fly one of
House.
those, right, Sid?
There. Chemical Supply House is there.
Well,
You can fly anything, I thought.
yeah, I can't fly anything.
Coe's Hardware. 61.
Now I'm trying to imagine you flying a screw top Da Vinci helicopter.
Which is there.
I was trying to picture him flying a space shuttle.
What year was the Challenger?
86 January.
That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking.
coming up.
Did that happen in this adventure, Sid?
I didn't do it.
Where's 80? Anybody see 80? Tank, 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 tank.
You
Right
hear
there,
nothing.
medical
80s on
supply.
Pilgrim Road.
It's so that
Oh,
would have
there's
been
80.
January
Plymouth
this
and
year.
Pilgrim.
101, Jason's photo supply.
Wild Turkey 101. Gonna get that
Way up
bird
here.
and get him some.
In Arlington.
Yeah, I've already got that. That's Co's Hardware. What the fuck? 101. Oh, 101. Yeah. So,
Yeah, we can go get a Polaroid camera, and Donnie, you can get your photos developed. I think you could do that at the photo supply store. I don't know. I don't remember the 80s.
and the Wharf Rat Bar, which is 48. I said 47. It's actually 48.
Well, it
So
says
it's not
47
here.
is the problem.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the deal here? It's got to be a typo because that was copied and pasted from the book. So, yeah, there we go. Wharf Rat Bar. So that's all the shared locations where you guys can go do your shopping and all that goody good stuff.
Sweet.
All right, where would you like to go? We got about 15 minutes of game time left here.
Fish is gonna go up to the either go by himself or suggest we go to the photo supply store because it seems like an extra camera would be useful.
I mean, I got a camera, but yeah, extra is always helpful.
All right, so you head up to the photo supply store.
Yes.
Well, I've got a digital camera.
That can't be right.
Oops.
Time traveling motherfucker.
Should we just use regular
But I got
camera?
nothing to plug it into.
Let's see here.
There's a computer store. You just need to get like a
Where
parallel.
the
Yes,
hell is the
You have a
photo?
digital camera, but you need 6 guys to carry it.
Photo store's way up
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Oh, there it is. Okay. Cool, because Charles Jason
Yeah,
is the owner.
Yeah, Mike, you'll have to get a USB to parallel or serial or something. Why would they even make such a thing?
Well, I did have a combination you could do that because of the adapters I had. Because there's parallel and there's a serial, and it converted to a PS2, and there's a PS2 to USB. I have no idea what would happen if you tried to use it, but I had all
That
those
sounds
connected together.
It would
as
burn
fuck.
your eyes out.
That sounds jury-rigged as fuck.
You don't hear good things about the Masons? Well, you're deep in Mason country up here, buddy. So Charles Jason, how can I help you? What you got? Oh, photos to develop? Can you get a camera regular? Yeah, for a Polaroid camera. Yeah, just change it from digital to Polaroid, and we'll make it a Polaroid camera.
Oh, there's one that's labeled regular and one labeled digital.
Regular, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work for Polaroid or anything. Now this is cool. He goes over and he looks out the doors like this. And you see him flip the closed sign and he locks the doors real quick. He comes over and he goes, check this out. And he holds up an ink pen. Look at that right there. And he turns it, you see him turning it towards you. And he clicks the little button on top, and you hear this sound, you know. Is
that on camera?
It's a camera. Then he goes over and flips the open sign. Yeah.
And a big blue spot in his pocket starts spreading.
Yeah, see, Donnie, they could be watching you from anywhere.
So it's a camera pin. Are those even legal?
I mean,
Who brought this man in my store?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I don't judge or anything. It's just I'm
That's
curious.
for
Are these
clarification.
legal?
All right. So yeah, you can get your camera supplies here if you guys would like
Oh,
to do a
listen.
little shopping.
So what kind of supply does he sell? Like a full range of supplies here?
Well, you can see the dark room. Yeah, full range camera supplies. There's he's got a dark room in the back. Everybody, give me a notice roll as you're checking out this. I mean, it's a pretty good sized store.
Man in black. Man in black.
Oh, I get a +2 notice if it's for something shady.
It's not really shady, but you did good
Okay,
anyway.
just saying.
You guys all kind of, when he mentions the dark room, you kind of all look up, and you can see the door's kind of cracked, and it looks like somebody's peeking out, but it's dark in there, you know, but you can see this, and again, it looks like somebody in a suit, and then they kind of step back behind the door.
Who is that? Is there someone in your room?
Yeah, he's in the room.
He looks around, he says, "What?"
Are we here alone?
I said, "That's
Is
the
there
dark
anybody
room."
in the back?
In the back?
In the dark room, in the back.
Well, when you say in the back, he turns and looks the other way.
way.
There's like a hallway that goes down this way. He turns
No,
and looks
I'm
at
in
the
Your other
I don't
back.
know.
dark room. I'm
In
in
the-
the dark room.
But no, there shouldn't be. And he walks over and flips on the red lights, you know, and the red lights come on. He looks around. No, why?
Because I think we all just saw somebody in there.
That is a man. A little silhouette of a man.
Gotta move. Gotta
On my
move.
shirt, and he's holding a mango.
No mango, just suspicion.
But that mango was suspicious.
I wonder if you have been drugged. That is why we keep seeing things. That would make sense.
Some of the dude standing over there in the
Could
doorway.
be the KGB.
He says, "Of course, I sell supplies for, you know, you want to do your own darkroom work and you know, what do you call that? Developing, picture developing. Since that's not a thing anymore, I forgot all about it."
Is
Yeah,
it
I
Donnie's
just
got one in
roll.
his van in the back?
Supposedly, yes.
I
Donnie,
have a role that I need to get developed as soon as I can, though.
and he says, "Well, you know, I can develop your pictures for you, or you can rent my darkroom if you know what you're doing."
Of course, I knew what I'm doing.
Let's
Does
see.
the rental of the darkroom come with chemicals and everything?
Give me an electronics roll.
No.
Anybody?
Oh
Or
shit!
somebody specific?
Actually, had like
With that role and photography and stuff, and I think you did say that before the game all started that
There it goes.
you can roll a science roll. He says, "Now be careful with the chemicals," and he says it's $20 to rent the room. You got 30 minutes. He says all this looks a little suspicious.
There's 20 for the room, and here's 20 for your suspicion.
And Donnie, you go in here and you start developing these pictures, and as you're mixing up the solution, you pause for a minute and you're like, wait a minute. As you reach over and you pick up the hydrogen cyanide.
It's not a
Is that a thing?
normal chemical.
Well,
Yeah,
that's actually prussic acid. Prussic acid used in photo development, which contains hydrogen cyanide. Martian Cat just rated with 11 viewers. Holy cow.
Hello, Martian Cat.
You get to catch the last 6 minutes,
Hello,
but
Raiders.
they finally just got somewhat of a clue. Hello,
Well, there's
Raiders.
also-
Welcome.
There was also hydrogen cyanide in the garden chest on the patio,
Mm-hmm.
and with the key inside a safe. So
Did anybody check that and find anything there?
I mean, the thing said that there was a bottle in there, and it had like marks.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't
Right,
quite
right.
understand it.
It was like
Yeah.
it was marking down where it had been used at. It was at the last notch.
Right. Yep. And you actually talked to the gardener, and he said yes, and I'm very conscientious of the fact that that poison is in there. That's why it stays locked in that toolbox. And
I mean, that
only
makes
myself
complete
and Mr. Manchester had access to it. He said, and he told you, you can look on the bottle, and you can. You
Yeah.
could hold the bottle up and see the liquid right at the last line that he marked on there. So, but the police took it, and they're like, well, somebody could have put some water in there, So
Yeah.
the police have that.
Well, they're probably testing that, yeah. So they'll probably come back with toxicology. But it can be. Do you sell this, Jason? Do you sell this stuff?
Well, yeah, right over there in the developing supplies.
Have you had anybody purchase?
Yeah, is there a lot of
decent
developers
amount?
in town here?
Well, look through the recent records. He goes over and pulls out a box. This is 1986. It's not. He doesn't pull up a computer. He opens up this box and starts looking through here and says, recently sold to a number of photography businesses. I got some to the police crime lab, Adams General Hospital.
Anything unusual?
What of a very attractive woman.
I don't really keep transactions for the smaller type though, because I'm not required by law. So you see that he's got like gallons of this stuff, and he's got little quart jars.
Have you
Yeah,
recently
but-
had a beautiful woman stop by and purchase a small quantity?
I
Perhaps strong perfume?
I do remember. Yes, that's right.
Violet lipstick.
I don't remember perfume, but Trixie. She's an entertainer. Trixie Star.
She's the
How
star of
lipstick
the
did she have?
Mousetrap. Yes.
I do remember Trixie Star coming in. I need to go down and see her show. I heard it's really good.
Well, I think we
If you get
certainly
my
have.
drift.
Yeah, we're thinking the same thing.
I
Yeah.
think we certainly have our first suspect.
Well. So you spend some time at Jason's. Donnie messes around, developing pictures. What do you have on that roll of film, Donnie?
No telling. He's probably got Bigfoot.
No,
Largely
just
it's from
clear
the
images
cemetery.
you think are Bigfoot.
I'm
Look
just
how the
kinda,
McRib caught the light.
like dots in the sky.
There's a
Orbs.
barbecue sauce smudge on the lens.
On every picture.
There's one of Donnie wearing nothing but a McRib.
Oh,
Oh, God.
There's a local
Nobody
pizza
wants to see
guy's
that.
delivery van. He just drives by too many times. It's suspicious.
Oh yeah, you said you took photos of everyone who drives by the
Delivery
neighborhood, right?
van.
He might be watching me.
Oh.
More importantly, here I have the pictures from the graveyard. Like the rituals.
I wonder if
down
there's some
to
sort of
that one
occult
person.
expert in town that might know what these are
Well-
supposed to be.
There's someone running a voodoo show.
Yeah, that's true.
Sounds like
Go
a
talk to that guy at the newspaper that was writing about the graveyard.
Yeah, I
Carl
bet he stalks
Kolchak.
at night.
Yes, Kolchak. I bet he knows what's up.
Okay. Well, that's probably where we're going to end it for the week, because we got 2 minutes left here. So I just kind of want to hear, where do you guys stand right now? What are you looking at? What's
Well,
been cleared up?
yeah.
What's gotten hazy?
Well, we definitely have our first suspect. So we really need to speak to Trixie Star ASAP.
Yeah, we need to know what she was getting. What did you say? Prussic acid?
Prussic acid for developing photos, but it contains hydrogen cyanide. And when we come back next week, I think you wanted to go to the Club Apollo. There's a couple places you
Yeah,
wanted to
we
go
got
at
to see the
night.
show. Yeah, we want to see the show.
Yeah. So okay. Very good. Well, thank you, Martian Cat, for bringing the stream over and all the Raiders who came in at the last minute. We appreciate it. We do Savage Thursdays. Right now, we're doing. This is Lords of Creation, which is from Avalon Hill in 1984. First shown to me by Roland right there when we were in high school.
Old school, yeah.
This was. I'm wondering if. And I think we'd done D&D first before we tried this game, but we were doing the Blackmore stuff. The Blackmores, something in the Blackmores. Anyway, so this is it's kind of a multi-genre thing, and so we're going to be all over the place in the next few weeks, and it's every Thursday evening. But thank you for coming by. You can argue with me and try to prove that the Earth is either round or flat. Doesn't matter. I'll argue the point either way. If you go over and give me a subscription on YouTube, because I'm trying to get rid of that ugly
shape.
The what?
It's shaped like a D20.
Yeah, it's tetrahedral.
That's tetrahedral. So it might be tetrahedral.
Icosahedron.
At least that's much closer to it being real than flat.
Yeah, anyway, I'm trying to get rid of that ugly URL and get the one that just says YouTube/Marbanya. That'd be really great. Help me out with a sub over there. It doesn't cost you anything, and I really don't send out notifications, so you won't get anything. Anyway, yeah, so with that, we'll be back next Thursday. I don't think anything's going on next Thursday. Next Friday, I won't be around here, though. No stream for me on Saturday with Rob Toohey because our Dungeon Master Drake is up in Pigeon Forge up in Tennessee in a cabin that sleeps like 50 some odd people, and they're all playing D&D for the weekend. Sounds great. It's a private con.
That's crazy. That sounds like chaos.
Yeah, it's his their online gaming guild, the Purple Dragons, I think. And this goes back to the days of WoW or something, and so he's got really tight. Moonshine, I assume, probably Moonshine up there. Guys, it's 10:01. Let's see where we can take this raid to. If I come over here and where's my? How come I can't? Nothing ever works when you want it to. Twitch. Who's Svenster? Svenster is yes. That's what we'll. Like we did last week, and we are getting ready to raid. Yeah, 5 viewers, 7 viewers. The numbers are climbing. 8 viewers, 11 viewers. Fantastic. Don't forget to what?
To refresh your screen when you get there, so they get credit for the view.
There you go. Refresh your screen when you get there, so they get credit for it. Thank you all, and we'll see you next Thursday next week. Tell them bye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.